Hello everyone, and welcome to Drifting, the premiere episode. This is I think I decided on a space opera TTRPG in the Traveler system. And the Traveler system's like in little inverted commas. So, first up, thank you everyone who watched all of Sunkissed and the finale of Sunkissed. It was a lot of fun. But now we're about to start a new show and a new story. Hopefully you will enjoy this one as well. First up, we are going to have a little go around, and I need to decide the pecking order of who talks when where. So, let's start off, as I quickly fix a couple of boxes. Let's start off with Peachy, Pixel 8.
Me, Peachy Pixel 8. I'm playing an old person for a change. A couple more years and I won't have to put on makeup. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
I have to wear hair again though. That's kind of. It's warm. Everyone with hair. I have a new understanding of what you have to go through every single day, because for a couple of hours a day I have to have hair, and for just $5.99 a month you can help support this show by subbing to Sheepdog, because he'll never say it.
$9.99? Is that what I charge?
$5.99, $4.99.
Okay.
I don't know what you charge.
It's $9.99 for direct messages.
Yeah. I saw that tweet.
Get on his Fansly.
And you do what do you do?
Oh, I'm in a little show called Leech on Sundays, because it's Monday today, right?
Yep,
I know this.
On Table Story. It's a good show. Just started season 2.
Yes, it's about vampires. It's a lot of fun, and then I stream other stuff. I like ghosts on Thursdays. I like racing. Nothing much. I just do the stream thing.
If you haven't checked out Peachy's Ghostbusters series on Twitch, it's a lot of fun. Very easy.
It's just people lying to you, and I go, "Ha, you're lying." That's it.
Still a lot of fun. Yeah, let's move over. I'm going clockwise, so next up is Tess. Hey, Tess.
Hello. Hi. You said Tess, and my immediate brain is thinking,
yeah.
not you, it's Vandy. Because it's so ingrained.
We did like 8 months where Tess was a character name as well as Tessichka. It
was confusing. Just a little. Hi, I'm Tess, or Tessichka, or Careene. Ooh,
Yeah.
I love this name. Like, the more I say it, the more I love it. It's awesome. Anyway,
You're back.
I'm so excited to be here. yeah, I'm super excited about this show. I love space. You guys know I love space. And I love these people, and I'm so excited. It's gonna be cool. I also do rhyme on Table Story on Fridays, and it's awesome. And I also do the Bordercast on the Borderlands channel, and I also stream on my channel usually Saturdays. Probably streaming tomorrow because, yeah. Anyway, that's it.
A little bit of VR, a little bit of keyboard compiling.
Oh, yes. Keyboard. I build keyboards. I'm going to be building a keyboard tomorrow, probably, if I stream. So.
Ooh. What switches? What caps? What board? No.
If you really want to know,
I should probably
Godspeed,
tune
which
in.
is actually a space-themed key set. It's for my better half over there, who's not actually over there right now. But anyway, but yes, it's a keyboard that I've been meaning to build for a very long time. It's just been sitting here looking at me, being like, Tess, why the fuck haven't you built me already?
Keyboards are the best. I love keyboards.
They are. They're really cool. And switches are box fights.
Ooh.
He likes the clicky.
Yeah.
I like the clicky too, actually. Clickies are the best tactiles.
This means nothing.
I'm
If you
using
disagree.
browns because I like the tactile, but I stream so I can't be clicking.
Yeah.
This is gonna turn into an intro about keyboards.
Don't worry, I'm just about to cut you off and move on.
Yeah, we can totally talk about it more later if you want, because if you get me started, it's gonna just, I'm trying to hold back.
It's okay. It's okay.
Poor
'cause-
PB.
Don't worry, because next up we have Safi Pie. Hello, Safi.
Hello. I'm playing Astrid for you.
Yeah.
I stream sometimes, question mark. I don't feel like I can say that anymore.
At your own leisure.
Yeah.
There you go.
In my own time, which is very non-existent in itself. But I'll be here every Monday. Hopefully. Doing drifting with these guys. That's the plan. Yeah, I'm very excited to get back into TTRPGs. It's been a little bit, and I'm excited.
Oh, yeah. And finally, only because I went around the way the clock went, we have Amelia.
Yeah, I'm not taking it personally. It's fine.
I mean, it
whatever.
went around
it's only
like
the
this
first
on
show.
the
I've been
Zoom call.
slighted already. I'm off. That's it.
Has anyone else got it like set up anti-clockwise? Because he said clockwise, and then for me, he went anti-clockwise.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was too polite to point that out.
I went
but
clockwise
yeah,
on my thing, so I don't know what you guys are looking at.
we're off to a cracking start. Hi everybody. I'm Millie or Amelia Tyler or whatever you want to call me. I don't care. But today I'm Nomi, and I'm so excited to play her. Yeah, I'm doing one other show at the moment, another tabletop show, and we're back for our final season of our Game of Thrones show After the Fire, starting on Thursday at 7 over on Black Cats Gaming, and I'm so excited because we are all going to die horribly. The end of last season was a little bit dramatic, to say the least. But yeah, when I'm not doing that, I'm kind of just voicing for video games at the moment. You might know me as, oh god, this is a bit where I regurgitate my CV and make myself physically sick, isn't it? All right, hi, I'm the narrator of Baldur's Gate fucking 3. What? You might know me as Narissa and Wenduag in the Pathfinder games, and Malady and Divinity Original Sin 2, and a whole bunch of other crazy shit. But when I'm not doing that, I love playing tabletop games. Occasionally I stream. You'd probably be better off following me on Twitter though, to be honest, because I'm unreliable.
Fair enough.
That's it. I'm going to end on unreliable because that's
Unreliable,
your segue.
there you go. And I, of course, am Sheepdog. I run the Wandering Inn. Technically, this is our first official Wandering Inn show, because Sunkist was already happening when the Wandering Inn happened, so... First official Wandering Inn show. Not nervous at all. That's great.
He was in DMs just panicking about the most inconsequential shit, and I'm like, dude.
Since last Monday, basically.
Well, true, yeah.
Yes. In a moment, we'll get going and we'll start the show. But first up, I just want to thank all the patrons. We are getting closer and closer to covering cast costs for the Monday show, which is the show today. So that's really awesome because it, takes off a lot of the pressure on financing that aspect of the show. If you're interested in it, go check out the Patreon. There's Laconis coming up. Now that I've finally managed to get to the point of starting drifting, we're going to start releasing all the Laconis stuff and getting that game running for all the patrons and Twitch subscribers, etc. The other thing in the pipeline is getting a Friday show up and running. I can't promise it'll be before the end of the year, but we will see how that goes, because I have some thoughts and ideas, and
Sunkist 2.
Sunkist 2, Vampire Boogaloo.
If you don't do it, I'm going to be so sad.
Okay, so just I have had a couple of people asking about this for Sunkist and Moonkist. If I did do them, they would be completely separate from the setting that I've already done. So unless it was for like name recognition, I wouldn't like carry on any of the stories. So more likely you'll see another VTM thing, but just under a different name. Aside from that, a little bit of a... For anyone interested in World of Darkness, I have plans and considerations to possibly run a Mage show and possibly run a Geist show, which is it's Geist the Sin Eaters, which is a very very obscure and fun little thing where everyone dies and comes back with like an alien ghost as brings them back, and they make a deal with them. It's really cool. So. Oh, sorry. Hopefully that didn't mess up the cams. No, everything looks cool. Okay.
Yay! By the way, this overlay is sick. I've already said that multiple times.
Oh, actually, thank you, Peachy. That's a very good point. All the art was done by Askren. He is, I believe it's at Askren on Twitter. Man, I should have that prepared. It is at Askren on Twitter. I'm sure Mark will throw that out for us. And he did the overlay, and he did the cast art that you saw in the intro. The little like aging effect and stuff was done by PG. Thank you very much for that, PG. It looks awesome. And the trailer was done by Safi, who I think is somewhere else. Safi's, I think, over there, maybe in the thing. So thank you, both of you, for kind of assisting me in making the lead up to the show a lot more awesome.
I got you, bro.
Okay. So, I think at this point we should start the show. First up, before I get in, I've got a little spiel to introduce you all to the setting. This is an idea I had that required me to make a completely new setting. So all the lore and everything is built by me, and it's a completely unique system and all of those type of things. I do have, there is the map for everyone to see quickly before we get into it. We'll be talking about the basic history in the intro, and there is also a map of the ship available that I'll turn on every now and then when we're talking about the ship. So you can see those in the little underbit there. They are also in my Discord, in the drifting channel in my Discord, if anyone wants to go and check those out. I'm pretty sure they're pinned. If they're not pinned, Mark, can you go and can you go and pin those, please, mate? Cheers. Just getting people to do my work for me.
Come on, Mark.
Go. So, let us give you a little intro to drifting. So, drifting is set in the system, or the cluster, it's known by both, which is a twin star system orbited by 3 other systems. The one in the center is where humanity was originated. I'll throw the map on so that people can see what I'm talking about. This core system orbited by the others is called Inner, and their homeworld, where they originated from, is called Sumalis. As they came together, forming villages, cities, and then countries, and finally a world, they got to the point of space travel and looked out to see whether they could expand further. Eventually, they ended up terraforming, colonizing, and failing and succeeding in equal measures. Eventually, Inner was completely claimed by humanity. After that, they moved out into the other systems, Encroacher and the Distance Twins, Annie and Benny. Unfortunately, as human nature kind of is, differences and conflict always arise, leading to the independence wars, civil wars, riots, and affecting the cluster as a whole. Currently, at the current point in time, there are now 3 main powers that rule over the cluster. The inner government, based in the inner system, they're slow and powerful, but also considered fairly corrupt and behind the times comparatively. There is the Encroacher Allied Planets, the EAP, born out of a desire for self-governance and freedom, which they gained through the Independent Wars about 300 years ago. Unfortunately, about a century later, the EAP were faced with a civil war themselves, leading to the independence and rise of the Free Planets Initiative, now commonly known as the Initiative. And that was the foundation for the 3 powers that currently exist. As you look at the map, the inner system is controlled by the inner government. The planets with orange names are the EAP, and the planets with green outlined names are the Initiative. Things have calmed down mostly in terms of conflicts. There are still occasional battles, wars, minor stuff mostly, occasionally on planets, but for the majority of the most recent 10 years or so, it's been space conflict. Currently, all 3 of the powers have a fairly uneasy truce, as all of them are trying to deal with their own internal struggles, strife, piracy, and more. Finally, with advancements in life extension technology, citizens can now expect to live to about 150 years of age, and maintaining their youth for longer. 60 is really the new 30. And the projected overcrowding that scientists and experts had been worried about has never raised its head. At this point, humanity has pushed its way out to the furthest reaches of the cluster and now wonders what's next. So there's a little intro for everyone on the cluster. Or the system. You can call them either, they're pretty much interchangeable. So, we will start off in a bunk on the ship The Deep Waters with Colton Nguyen, who has just recently come aboard and chosen where he is going to be laying his head on the ship. So, just bring up a picture of the ship. Colton, seeing as you're the first one on, aside from the captain who you met briefly, and the second in command, first mate, where did you choose for your bunk? Because there's the top level, there's a whole load of bunks there and a few on the bottom.
It was 100% the lower levels because it's easier and quicker to get out of, and when you just want to roll into bed because you're so tired, that's the bunk you want. That is the ideal bunk.
That's fair. I believe there's a few just outside the common, just adjacent to the common room, so you can have your pick of those.
Where's the actual picture?
There's one on the Roll20 below the map.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
Oh yeah! Wow, I scrolled.
There you go. I was so sure that you were going to pick the one next to the kitchen.
No, it would be the nearest one to.
It'd probably
the airlock.
Just below the airlock, yeah.
Yeah.
The one on the right there. Okay, yeah, makes sense. Okay. As you're sitting there, the light like flickers a little bit. Just doesn't seem to be a power issue. Seems more to be like a connection with one of the light bulbs there.
Yeah, I'm gonna fix that.
And then you hear a just knocking on your door.
Yeah.
The door like slides open, and the captain points his head through. You've met him briefly when you were brought on board the ship. He's quite tall, quite thin. He's got kind of like slightly dirty clothes and face, but from what you can tell and from what you know of him, he's a reasonably reliable person. And he says, Mr. Nguyen, are you ready to take a quick tour of where you'll be working?
So the second he walks in, I stop messing with the light.
Yeah.
And I just like sort of stuffing in my pockets, and I try and straighten myself out because he's a captain, regardless of if he's a dirty captain, he's still a captain. Yeah, captain.
Well, come along then, and we'll go have a look at where you'll be working. Incidentally, if you need to do any odd job fixing stuff in your quarters, there is a toolkit in the locker in the storage area.
When I'm talking to him, I'm not like standing to full attention because that's ridiculous, but I'm definitely standing more alert.
You hold yourself at a
quite
stance,
sort of
yeah.
still, and yeah.
And the captain seems very kind of like relaxed. Even when he's walking, it's with kind of a slightly slow, like loping gait. And as he takes you through the doors and into the kind of like the big cargo area, which is, aside from the crane above you, pretty much empty. There's no cargo here currently. He says, are you okay with Colton, or would you prefer Mr. Nguyen?
Colton's fine, sir.
Okay. You can call me Fane if you like.
Yes, sir.
And he kind of like, he walks and he takes you to the back of the cargo room, through the doors, which basically open up into the engine room. Into the generator room.
So as I look around the generator room,
Yeah.
does it look like it's OEM, or does it look like stuff's been added and put into the ship, rather than this is what it came out of the dockyard with?
It looks for the most part like it's factory blueprint, built. Like there hasn't been any changes or anything like that. The ship itself looks quite old, and you've noticed like multiple times, like the doors are a little bit sticky, and like when they're supposed to slide open, they kind of squeak, and
Panels don't quite fit as they should.
Yeah. There's definitely some disconnected or like frayed wiring and thing like that as well through the ship. But the captain says, well, here's your generator. You've got the main generator, fuel for that's fed through, so you can, as you like. I don't know too much about how it works. It's not really my area of expertise. That's why we hired you on, partially.
It's factory standard.
Yeah.
Goes in here, comes out there. Simple.
And then of course you have the backup generator just over there. And of course the console with which you can, and there's kind of like a kind of stand up, almost looks like a music stand with a little panel on it, and you can see like the basic information of both of the generators. The backup one's turned off and currently not powering the ship. The main one's running at essentially like 80% efficiency. And
looking at the readout, is it are there any red lights or amber lights, or is it just mostly taken over fine?
In terms of it's actually generating more power than it needs to. It's on about 80% efficiency. You only need it about 40 currently, because not much is turned on or running.
Oh, right. Yeah, then I'll just walk up to the dial and I'll just acquaint myself with the the screen, and I'll turn down the power a bit.
You just kind of boop boop, and then like you basically put your finger and then lower the power down manually, and it just like.
Can't be wasting fuel.
Already, you are showing your worth.
How long has it's been yours?
About a week.
Right.
I just recently left my job on a company hauler. So.
Oh. Trader?
Corporation. I was working for the Foxfire Industries. But I earned enough to be able to put a down payment on a ship, and I wanted to see about a little time working for myself.
I give him that look that people give you when they're sort of, I'm done with small talk, thank you.
Yeah. Well, I'll leave you to get acquainted with the ship, and you know where everything is, correct?
I'll figure it out. They're pretty much all the same.
Alright then. Once we've managed to gather the rest of the crew, we'll have a meal and a meeting. Until then, your time is your own.
You have an engineer, right?
I think Mr. Banquo's dealing with that.
Right. I mean, I don't really.
We should be covered. Very well. As he turns and the door opens and he walks away, there's a strange hesitation where you get the feeling like he's trying to resist saluting you.
Oh yeah.
Just
I feel like
movement of the hand.
Colton's been fighting that. That's why he was standing straight, so he didn't move his arms up.
Yeah.
I'll just let him leave.
Your contact you spoke to, I don't think he went into detail on Fane and what he did. But for your
he said he was quite relaxed though, so he didn't have the military strut, but
yeah,
you could see that there was something in there.
The only thing your contact told you is that he was in the Star Marines.
Okay.
The Star Marines essentially are ship-to-ship combat, so they get fired at ships and then board and kind of take over pirates, that type of thing. You know what? We may have our first roll for a second, because I think this could be interesting. Plus, we should roll when we can. Let us go. Yeah, you know what? Let's go for a leadership roll.
Oh. Okay. No modifiers, yeah? Just straight.
Just straight, yeah. Wow. That's 2 6s.
Is that my first roll?
That is your first roll.
Oh, that's pretty good.
You do so if you go to your sheet and at the top it says roll type, just everyone just move it to boon and then back to normal. Boon is kind of like rolling with advantage, but sometimes.
Sorry, say that again so ADHD brain can follow.
No problem. So at the top of your sheet, you'll see roll type, and it will say boon, normal, and bane. If you just move it to boon quickly and back to normal, it'll turn off boon or bane. Sometimes it has you roll as boon or bane automatically. I don't know why.
We can just ignore the 4, right?
Yeah, no, that's fine. So even if you rolled the 4, it would have still been a massive success. So, oh, sorry, there is no log because we've been looking at the. There we go. There you are. So the way the rolls work is essentially when you roll, you get bonuses and additions depending on your stats and your skills. For example, leadership is a social role. So you have your social stat. For the sake of explaining things, Colton has a 9 in social. It gives him a modifier of 1 when he rolls any social skills. He also has 1 skill level in leadership, which means when he rolls leadership, he gets a 2 bonus on his roll. You roll 2d6, and it's very much like the kind of d6 systems where it's a 5 to 8 is a moderate success with, like, you know, stipulations for you to get a success.
Yes,
but and then, you know, anything above like a 12 is amazing. So rolling 14 is great. Thank you for that, PG. And anything below a 5, I think it is a failure. But don't worry about that too much for now.
Okay.
So with your ridiculous 14 on a 2d6 roll, you can at the very least make out that he didn't achieve a high rank in the military when he was, you know, like, you heard he was a Star Marine, but his attitude and the way he kind of, like, the way his hand twitched like he was going to salute you implies that he's used to following orders as opposed to giving them. So most likely he didn't reach a high rank.
Okay. Interesting.
Not sure how much that will matter to Colton, but it's something he
not
picks
much.
up, definitely.
I don't think much. It's just good information.
Yeah. And you're left alone in the power generator room. You can kind of, like, have a bit of a look around and.
I check that we've efficiency of the generator hasn't moved slightly or in rock solid.
You'd say, like, if you really want to fine tune it, you could probably knock it down to about 38% efficiency, and you'd still, but you know, if you keep it at 40, just a couple of bit higher, it will cover for anything being turned on, or, you know, like.
Yeah, no, I'll keep it as is. I've already just saved half the amount of fuel that we're using.
You have, yes.
So, no, I'll keep it as that. I'll make sure any vents are open, because these old generators do generate a bit of toxic fumes. And I think I just sort of stand there taking in the room, because every generator is different. Yeah, there are similarities, but everyone is different. This one has been bedded in for so long. This is obviously an old ship, and they've not had someone that's like, it's obviously been looked after because it's still running well, but it's not been loved, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So
And
I'm just looking around taking it in.
Him having gotten the ship fairly recently, like,
Yeah,
implies that someone else had it before, and
that makes me feel better because you know, basically we've both been here as long, as far as I'm concerned, because he's only been there a week and doesn't really know how this works. This is my generator now,
yeah.
essentially.
All right. So, I think we will fade out from Colton, having a look over his power generators and his room. If in the future you want to go and check out the supplies, just as a sidebar before we fade out, sorry. You will be your job on the ship is essentially generator room and quartermaster.
Yeah.
So the cargo area and all kind of supplies are full under your domain. So
General sort of handyman.
yeah, a little bit of that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's more something you can do than something you are hired on to do.
Right. Yeah. Which is something that Colton would do. Like if there's a hanging wire, he's gonna sort that. Actually, that's a good point. If there's anything like that that's not like completely broken, but just not quite right, he's just gonna be fussing and making sure that, you know, the panels are lined up and there's no wires hanging out and everything's greased and at least working how it should be.
Yeah. And, you know, Like, there's a lot to fix about the ship.
Right.
But, you know...
I mean, just the simple things that you
Yeah,
just, like, close that lid, you know,
Oh, yeah,
push
definitely.
this under the counter, and just make it ready to work in.
Okay. And actually, as we're just before it fades out, Fane pops his head through the generator entrance door and says, "Actually, I have to go out to meet a couple of prospective crew members. You'll be here by yourself?
Yeah.
Good. See you in a few hours then." And he pops out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that doesn't affect me whatsoever.
Cold's kind of like a little bit of a head nod, and then just carries on, and the camera fades. And we then come to what seems to be a warehouse moving goods. However, we are in a little side office. Lots of papers and a big terminal that someone sat behind. The person sat behind it is Ceres Baum, who is a foreman for the corporation. On the other side of the desk is Nomi. Would you honestly, we've got a good look at Nomi, so I feel we don't need to introduce, you know, like, this is how my character looks. With all of the cosplay and all of the art, I think people have a decent idea. Ceres kind of, like, peers at his terminal and says, it shouldn't be too long now, until he shows up. Are you happy waiting? If you like, I could tell you where the ship is, and you could go there yourself.
I'm not sure I understand the question.
Oh, well, I just thought you'd be a bit bored waiting here in my office.
I probably will be.
If you like, I could tell you where the ship is, and you can make your own way there.
Are you trying to get rid of me?
Perish the thought. I was just trying to expedite your business.
It looks like she thinks about that for a minute.
Mm.
Yes, that would be satisfactory, I suppose.
Oh, okay, good. In that case, and he gives you essentially like a through this door, down this corridor, take this take this elevator, take you about probably 10 minutes. It's not super far away from here. And there you go. You should be at see the ship yourself.
You seem nervous.
Oh, just a lot to do, and
A lot to do.
I am just worried about getting you settled in and off where you need to be.
Worried? Why?
Oh,
Is it likely to go wrong?
I don't expect so. It never has before.
She'll just look at him like he's gone a little bit wrong.
You know what? Let's have your first roll as well.
Oh.
This may just be a straight social roll, unless
Oh,
I
God.
can. You know what? Actually, deception will work on this one.
Ooh, okay.
It's essentially, as opposed to deceiving, you're trying to read into deception.
Okay, so I just click in the deception, yeah?
Mm.
And no modifiers.
6. Why is it still rolling boons and banes?
Oh, has it gone wrong?
For some reason.
Do the thing. Let me skip around a bit. Try again.
Yeah.
Hold on. Yeah.
There you go.
There we go.
For some reason, it rolled as a Bane, which means that it dropped your 6. It rolled 3d6 and dropped your highest one.
Oh,
So we'll go with
unacceptable.
we'll go with the 8, which is a pretty good success. So we won't go into the last time you met Ceres. It was a few years ago, and he incurred a significant favor to you, which is why he's doing this for you now, essentially setting up a job for you on the ship so that you can get away for a bit. The likelihood is that he does not know the details of what you're doing or why you're here, but he can make some assumptions, which he probably has done, which means he's worried that you being here any longer will lead to him getting in trouble somehow. He's not sure how, but somehow.
I'll just hold his gaze for a little bit too long.
Oh yeah, like after a couple of seconds, he like drops his eyes to the terminal, pretends he has something, very clearly pretends that he has something he needs to reply to, and he's like, oh yeah, clickety clackety.
I'll leave then, shall I?
Oh, so soon. It's always nice to see you. And of course you're always welcome to stay in touch. But such a shame to see you go.
Is it?
Yes.
You need to get out more. And I'll
I
just stand and walk to the door.
have been told, but okay. And you, sweep
Yeah,
out.
just as the door's about to close it. If you ever have need of another favor,
You'll be the first one I contact. Going off your previous role, that seemed like a lie.
yeah. Good. That wasn't a lie. Like, thank God he's not going to call me.
And you,
And leave.
yeah, head off through the warehouse. It's kind of the Voltorm expanded corporation started off in the inner system and has, more than any of the other corporations and businesses, the really large ones, has expanded out a lot further, and its influence is seen in all of the factions of the cluster. It's part of the reason why you chose to go looking for a job here, because it's not really it's fairly autonomous. It's under its own steam, and it doesn't have to worry as much about the laws of which faction it currently is in. And you head through. All the stuff in here is just, big crates of random machinery and clanky stuff. Yeah. And you head out. You follow the directions. Essentially, as you get onto an elevator that kind of and takes you up towards the docking area for the station, you are as the elevator comes to a stop, you see in front of you a tall, fairly gangly man who looks like the picture of the captain that you were given for your job. And he's just there waiting for the lift, and kind of like does a slight start double take as he sees you, and he's like, oh, I was just coming to
Captain left.
Just as a very quick question, you're going by Nomi Sinay, I'm guessing?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yes, the botanist.
Yes.
Right, I was just on my way to pick you up. In that case, would you like to come and have a look over the ship?
Yes.
Good. And he kind of like turns with a very slight frown, and says, "Well, follow me, and I'll bring you on board."
She'll silently follow him.
Yeah. As you're walking up, you could kind of see the ship for yourself. It's quite a long. It almost has like a shuttle look to it, and it's quite tall because it's got 2 levels to it. I don't believe you've ever been on this type of ship before, but you know, it's there's a lot of different brands and makes. So, and he says, "Have you been enjoying your time on the station?"
She'll consider that for a second. No.
Oh,
Have you?
I've only been here like a couple of weeks, but it's much more relaxed around here than it is on some of the other stations.
And that's something you like?
It's nice to avoid unneeded complications and checks and balances and searches.
And you kind of see her whole her posture just shifts slightly and becomes a little less formal because she doesn't want to intimidate him. I believe you have a farm on board?
Yes, quite a large, sophisticated one. I was led to believe. So you should find yourself right at home there.
May I see it?
Yes, of course. And he opens up the kind of the ramp going into the cargo room, and takes you up to the takes you up the ramp and in, and then to the stairs. He says, "This way, up here," and little kind of windy staircase up, out through a door, and he says, "Once you're happy with the farm, feel free to pick a currently untaken bunk. There are a few up here, and then there are also a few down towards the common area." Okay, and he goes towards goes down the corridor. On the left, there's a couple of doors. Opens one up and says, "Right in here," and walks in.
I'll walk in and see what we have.
Okay. So, what you have in front of you is a really, really bad farm. Is the best way I could describe it. There is one potted, I believe it's a tangerine tree. Double check here. So yeah, there is a tangerine sapling in a large pot that is very brittle, and its leaves are all brown, and it does not look properly taken care of. The soil doesn't even look like the right soil, possibly. And there are there's 6 large troughs which are currently empty of any soil or anything like that. It would be pretty decent for growing, if you want to plant some seeds and stuff, but there's also some large and medium-sized pots for which to put in specific plants and things like that. Above you, there's some standard lighting, but you don't even see heat lamps, or it's very bare.
I'll look at it. Captain, is this some sort of joke?
No, I was told this was state-of-the-art farm.
It's a state-of-the-art storage shed.
Really?
Yes. Plants need several things in order to grow. Water, UV rays, carbon dioxide, and in here they get none of those. So, how exactly is this supposed to stay alive?
I assumed it would kind of just look after itself. Isn't that what they do in the wild?
Just her eyes
Yeah.
bulge a little bit,
Yeah.
like she's talking to an idiot child. Captain, do you have a kitchen on here?
Yes.
Is there food in the kitchen?
Some, yes.
Why?
I believe we bought it,
Why?
so we can eat it,
Why?
because when we eat the appliances, it doesn't really digest very well.
I'm sure you get my meaning. All that is alive needs food to survive. We must give it food.
Noted. Well, as you are the expert, if you would like, we can see what we can do about getting the supplies. And you said something about UV?
Yes. We'll need UV lamps, equipment, seeds.
If it
What's
helps,
your budget?
we might have a UV torch. It's kind of like a headlamp. Would that be help at all?
No,
No? Okay.
no.
Well, we do have a job coming up, but we also have some funds available to us. So if you write up a shopping list, we can see what we can do.
As you wish. And that'll be the first time you've seen her smile.
Yeah.
And like, ooh, good. She'll walk across to the little seedling and kind of poke her finger into the dry soil and just tut. And look at him and tut again.
You hear the door close, like, as the second you go over to the seedling, he has left the room and kind of like in a retreat. You do hear him from the other side of the door saying like, I just have to meet another crew member. We'll talk more about this later. And then he drifts off as he leaves.
She'll bring out a pad and start noting down a very exhaustive list of all the shit they're missing.
Yeah, no, that's...
And then turn and go and find a room.
Okay. Interesting. Is there any room that Nomi gravitates towards?
It would be, if it's still free, I wasn't paying attention when Colton said which one he's in, but she would be angling for the very central one on the upper deck.
That is free.
Yeah, I'll take that one.
Central upper deck.
Equidistant from both areas of the farm.
Would you like to go check out the fridge as well? The like the kitchen area for what there's supplies and stuff. So the kitchen does also contain the farm supplies, either in fridge if needed, or in cupboards, or kind of storage areas. So what they do have, which may make up very slightly for the other problems that you've currently had, they do have potato, tomato, green bean, mint, oregano or oregano. I cater to both dialects. Spinach, carrot, seeds, significant packets of all of those. So you could definitely start troughs or farms of both of those. They also have a variety of kind of potatoes, some mince, tomato, carrots, some milk, some cornflakes, bacon, eggs, and something that you recognize, which is they have these kind of small custom wrapped packets of Huygens bark samples.
I'll take those, look at them,
Yeah.
put them in my bag, and I'll sift through all the equipment.
You immediately
In this
stealing the Huygens bark?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, they want me to look after medical, presumably, so they might take too much. What else have we got in here? Is there like cooking equipment?
Oh yeah. There's everything you need for the kitchen. There is a table with 10 seats, so it can kind of seat 10 around this table. There's a bookcase with no books currently in it. Against the wall at the back, there is a long couch and a couple of stools like seated around it. There is a liquefier, oven, and hot plates. Lots of pots and pans, and big kind of wok-sized like dealios, and essentially everything you need to heat, fry, boil, steam, and create most style of dish. But if you want to do anything more exotic, you'll have to buy the
Are there
apparatus
any
yourself.
bottles of any kind, plastic or glass or
There actually
anything like that?
aren't, aside from the milk bottles, which are glass.
How long has the if I could guess, how long will the milk survive? I'm assuming it's fresh rather than
Yeah. If you go searching later, you may find some powdered milk around the place in supplies. But this is like fresh milk. This will last maybe another week or so. It seems to be purchased reasonably recently.
She'll take one of the bottles of milk, open it, take a saucepan out, pour the milk into the saucepan, rinse the bottle out and fill it with water and take it into the farm.
Okay.
And she's gonna...
Does she also put like bottles or buckets on the list of things needed?
Yeah, it's an exhaustive list. But for the time being, she'll just go in with another saucepan of water and that bottle, and she'll kind of just sort of drench this parched soil on the tangerine and drench one of the tiny little seedling trays. And plant a few of the different seeds in different sections. Poke a big hole at one in the middle of.
Just before you start, there is no soil in any of the troughs or things.
Oh well, this is useless then.
Yeah, they don't have soil.
I think she'd actually be like rubbing the center of her eyes. Add soil. She'll look at the milk bottle of water and feed it to the tangerine. And then just be busying herself, tidying up, sweeping up, moving pots into configurations that make sense to her.
Yeah.
I think while you're doing that, the power might fluctuate for a second. You probably
She'll
hear the
stand up and go
main...
looking for the captain. Is unacceptable.
Going to have a search for the captain. He did
Yeah.
say he was going out to meet another crew member.
Oh.
So. But,
Well, I'll go and see if I can find out what's making the power go all shitty then.
Okay. Yeah. You kind of I assume walk down and then out into the cargo area. You're not completely familiar with the layout of the ship, so if you want to go a wandering,
I think I would be poking my head in. I'm like doing that room clearing, like Yep, know where that. What's this?
In
Mentally mapping it.
In that case, yes, you would poke your head into the generator room because it is literally just off the cargo area. So Colton, if you're in the generator room still, you would have a head poke in and just basically look around.
So it's probably a bit louder than it normally is, although you wouldn't know that. Because the backup generator is running, I'm just making sure that the backup generator works properly and the main thing is off, and I'm not paying attention to anything apart from this. I got my fingers and tools sort of like just messing with the backup. Fucking.
Is there an issue with the power?
Yeah. No.
I'm not sure that's true.
I go check out the readout. Is backup generator functioning as necessary?
Yeah, backup generator's functioning. There's not too much power draw, so you can actually run the power off the backup generator without too much worry. The problem with the backup generator is the fuel intake is manual, so you have to go draw the fuel and then fill it in.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm basically just testing the backup because you might as well test the backup before you need it.
Yeah, there was a slight fluctuation as you shifted power from the main to the backup, but that's just a matter of course for the functions.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been like everything just went to shit and you got into the dark. It was just kind of like a flicker.
Yeah.
No.
No.
All right, fine. Who are you?
Nomi Sinay.
Colton.
Colton.
Can I help?
The lights flickered. Will it happen again?
Yes.
Oh.
No problem.
It is?
And as I say that, I turn on the main generator and switch the power over.
Yeah, just
it does that
quick
flicker thing.
And it just kind of goes.
Backup generator. It's fine. You the engineer?
No. Do you need an engineer?
Probably. Ships need engineers.
Correct. Goodbye.
Bye.
Leave and go back to the farm.
When your GM realizes that he introduced the two most awkward socially characters first, and then you realize that they're going to have to interact, it's like, ooh, yay!
I don't think Colton's awkward. He just doesn't care.
Yeah, like that was a perfectly serviceable conversation
it was-
for Nomi.
yeah,
that was
perfect.
Like
more was
information was
needed.
exchanged and now it's over. I'm gonna be in love in 2 minutes time. You're the only one who doesn't ask me personal questions.
So, we will fade out again as Colton gets back to fiddling with the power generators, and Nomi heads up to probably grumble more and write more things down on the.
Lots of tutting.
I get the vague feeling like new power generator person is like goes on the list.
No,
Oh,
she
no?
was absolutely fine with that conversation.
Oh, okay. I thought
That's
she
great.
was upset because the power kept fluctuating. It was like,
Well, that's not his fault. That's the engine's fault.
okay. Fair
That's why he demonstrated.
Yeah. Okay.
She assumed he was talking literally as well. Like, yes, it's going to happen again because I'm about to pull this switch. It's happened again. That's over now.
We'll cut back in a like an hour or so, and it happens again, and she's like storming down, like power down. Okay. So we will shift over to a bar. So it's essentially a workers' bar in kind of the corner. When people get off shift, they tend to head out to the sides of the station where like the more commercial stuff is. There's some bars. There's even a couple of clubs. The way the station is structured, essentially people go from work to home straight through the commercial districts. So you can tell that it's been designed for people to be like, oh, yay, earned money. Okay, now I'll spend all my money at the station. So it essentially like, you know, it's the corporation's way of trying to recycle money pretty much. At this bar, which is called the... So technically it's supposed to be called the Lights Out Bar. Unfortunately, someone stole the S, so it's the Light Out Bar. It is what it is. There is a fairly young, slightly... Is Astrid currently grimy? Is Astrid always grimy? Because it's been a little bit of time since you got your mechanic on, really. Or,
I mean, I put my goggles on, though. It was just some kind of, like, smeary stuff. But, I mean, that's just...
Yeah.
Or a bit cleaner than she would normally look.
You got there first, before the person you're meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like... Are you gonna order a drink and sit down, or are you just gonna kind of have a sit down at a table and wait for him to turn up?
Yeah, I have something to drink and something to eat. Starving.
There's not much, but they can fry up like a couple of patties of meat and stick them in a bun or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. By the time I'm assuming all the sauces and no lettuce. I guess.
Extra cheese.
Extra cheese, extra sauces.
Hell yeah.
Okay. So by the time Romy turns up, he is well, you're kind of like just chowing down, and he kind of he walks into the bar. You kind of clock him for a second, and then just return to your food. And he raises a hand and kind of lumbers over. He is he's quite a tall man, quite broad as well. You've met him before, where you met him, and essentially he said to you, you know, after you parted ways, he said, if you ever need a job, give me a bell, and you did, and set up this meeting. So he kind of like lumbers over and like pulls out the chair on the other side of the table from you, sits down with kind of like a little bit of a and says, sorry, I was a little bit late. I got lost. We haven't been here that long.
It's all right. So, remember that favor thingy you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I kind of need to cash that chip in. All right with you?
Already? Really? I was expecting to hear from you in a couple of years, at the most, at the least.
I mean, I've got out about.
Yeah.
But I don't watch. 3-4 hours ago, maybe.
Okay.
Long walk.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, my shop's gone.
Well, that
Not
is
even there no more.
unfortunate.
So I'm sort of cashing this chip in a little bit earlier than I would have thought. Like, I was thinking, a couple of years, I've got in like a tight spot, but that sort of happened pretty much immediately.
Well,
Right.
I know you're quite decent around ships in general.
Mm-hmm.
And as I mentioned, we have been looking for a mechanic, engineer, someone to work the engines and keep all of that running. captain says all of the crew who pull their weight on a job get 5% straight off the earnings.
That is great because I'm gonna need you to pay for this. I got no cash. Sorry. I just got out. I ain't got shit. I asked for extra cheese as well. I'm sorry. I know that's a bit pricey.
Did they not offer you the little stipend? They're supposed to give you 500 credits as you leave for expenses and travel, and it's part of the government. Did you not ask for it?
If I'd known, probably would have. Mate, I didn't have to walk all that way.
They're supposed to offer it to you as when you leave. It's.
I think I pissed someone off in there. I'll be honest with you. So.
You pissed multiple people off. I remember.
I didn't start that fight.
That's true. Technically. So, what do you say to open-ended term on our ship as mechanic?
Sounds pretty decent. Is it all fully catered for? And all that?
We got the ship recently.
Ooh.
It's a little old. Maintenance may be difficult, but it works.
Great.
And we're all set for a long haul voyage, so in terms of fuel and that, we're all good.
I'm stocked and ready to go. What else you got?
Currently, we have someone to run the generators and the power around the ship, and a biologist. Not biologist. Is that farmer? We got a farmer for the farm.
What's a biologist doing a farm?
Grow things, I think.
I don't know.
Botanist.
Sure.
That's the word. We got a botanist. That's like plants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was someone who like made bottles.
No, a botanist is like a farmer, but with a piece of paper that says they're smart, pretty much. Yeah. Probably went to university or something like that.
Like a politician, kind of.
For plants, yeah.
Alright.
That's too much.
Safi broke Sheepy, yeah!
Oh, first break for Sheepy. Damn it.
Oh, we're only 2 hours in. Nice.
God damn it, Astrid. Alright, so.
Oh.
You want to head to the ship and see your new domain? You can pick a bunk as well.
Oh, sweet.
You got any gear with you or?
Out this, and she just flips open a knife. Oh, that's about it.
Yeah, okay, let's
Okay.
yeah. I mean, this isn't the nicest of places, but we don't want the security forces coming in. You want to finish
No
your
more
burger?
fighting. Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Okay. Ready to go then. I'll just go pay the bill.
Uncle.
And he gets up and shuffles over, like, pulls out some notes and slaps them on the bar. Turns to you, nods, and waves. And you head back towards the ship. And I think for now, we'll fade off as... do you think you'd be walking in silence?
No, very noisily.
Yeah, so...
Like, Igglebit's just sort of like stomping around, not very quiet.
Yeah. And just talking about things and, yeah, anything that comes to mind. And you've got Romy there kind of, not one word answering, but, you know, just trying to hang on to the conversation as best he can.
Yeah.
And we will move over to a hotel room. Off in the, just to the side of the commercial district, kind of in the more residential. There's a few hotels around there which you can stay for a little while. And Careene is currently desperately getting dressed because she is late for her work meeting at a restaurant.
Why do I always take longer than I think I'm going to? Damn it. Stupid hair time. Fuck. Alright. And she like runs out.
Yeah, like runs out the door, runs like halfway down the hallway, stops, runs back, locks the door, runs back at the...
Yeah. So bad. And then like runs back down to the elevator and is just like rushing, and she realizes she's starting to get like overheated, so she can't keep running.
It's one of those really nice fancy elevators, however, that move very slowly. So she like jumps in the elevator, pushes the button, and it's like,
come on already.
And then, like, do. Okay. And so you get to the front of the restaurant, and you kind of like look through. It's not a nice restaurant, it's more of a family, like if we're talking real world, it's more of a TGI Fridays type thing, or you know, like that type of thing. They make food nicer than the bar that we were at earlier, but not much nicer. And you can see the captain, who you had like a very quick conversation with over like video conference, is sitting kind of up against a wall, like in the corner.
So she would have been like walking really fast and then like slow down at the last minute and just be like, okay, you basically have the job, you just need to like get the job. Okay. So she like walks in all just like trying to appear chill.
And immediately like a glassy smiled employee walks up and says, do you have a reservation?
I'm meeting someone, Shane Leth? I think he's over there actually.
Oh, yes, of course. Then please excuse me for interrupting you. And just like whirls off and goes up to another table and says, are you ready to order yet? In this like very polite but stressed voice, where it's like, you've been sitting here drinking free refills for the last 20 minutes. Order something, goddammit.
Oh god. I just kind of like shake my head. Everybody is in a rush. I walk over and just kind of like nod to him, and I'm like, Shane Leth?
Careene, correct?
Yes.
Last name?
So I'm gonna tell you what it is, but just I don't want to kind of like spread it around.
Oh,
it's black.
Okay.
So if we could keep it between us,
yeah,
that'd be great.
Okay.
Just because
well,
people have weird reactions to it.
Understandably so. Well, have a seat and we'll talk about the position.
Great. Okay. Yeah. So I'll sit down and just kind of like immediately pick up something on the table to kind of like mess with with my hands and say, so you're looking for a pilot?
We are looking for a pilot. And you come reasonably highly recommended.
Yep. Piloting skills up the wazoo. I can definitely do that.
The only reference I could really see was from a few years ago in the I believe it was at the Zenith Outpost out in Encroacher.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I have a ton of experience, and I've been piloting since then, just not really for a job, more kind of pleasure craft and just random stuff for my family, which I'm sure you understand.
Yeah.
I kind of went back to living with them for a while, and then now I left again. So looking to just be out on my own for a little while.
Right. And you'll excuse me for asking, but are you in a hurry to get away? Family problems, maybe?
A little bit. I mean, nobody's exactly chasing me or anything. Like, nobody's in trouble.
Yeah.
It's just they really wanted to marry me off, and I really didn't want to do that.
Say no more.
Yeah.
This is the only time I'll ask you about things before, and that's only because it's useful to know in case we need to make a quick departure.
Yeah, that's why I'm being as open with you as I can, and I appreciate you keeping it to yourself.
I will. Well, for now we'll just call you Careene. Going into last names may pique the interest of other people.
Yeah. I mean, nobody really needs to know. If they do, we can
Well,
cross that space bridge when we get to it.
you will be interested to see the ship.
Yes, I would love that.
Okay. In that case, we have no... I've interviewed a couple of other pilots, but mostly short hauls. We're looking for more of a long distance thing.
That's totally me.
Good. We should be getting the information and cargo for our first job in the next day or so. So we can head back to the... Oh, I think it's someone's birthday. So we can head back to the ship. You can have a look around it, but as far as I'm concerned, I'm happy to have you on board. The basic agreement is food, board. You get a bunk, and you'll be piloting the ship. Obviously, when we do a job, all the crew members get 5% off the job pricing, and if needed, we can the ship funds will be available for work, equipment or gear. But I think we have everything, aside from possibly what we need for the farm, which I wasn't aware that you need so many things for a farm. But did you know you need like special lights and soil and all
Yeah.
of those type of things?
Yeah,
Water?
kind of. I mean, I've seen them in space. I don't really know much about how they work. I just kind of...
Me neither.
But I do know they need things like that. So it's cool that you have one. That's definitely helpful. We can stay out longer.
Yeah.
Right?
It also hopefully assists a little bit with the air recycling. Is
Yeah.
the thought.
Yeah, good air to breathe. Also, long term, pretty good for everybody on board. Cool.
All right then. I feel a little bit bad about not ordering, but do you just want to head back to the ship then? And
Sure. Yeah. Not that hungry.
okay. And then he gets up and you head out of the restaurant. The kind of the waitress who greeted you kind of looks and is like, "Oh, are they going to order?" And then you just walk out, and there's like this look of kind of exasperation, but also relief, and like, oh god, I don't have to serve more people for now. I've rushed off my feet. And then she kind of heads off and carries on going.
Yeah, I don't really think about her very much as I'm walking out. I just kind of am like, whatever. Normal server person.
Yeah. And you head off towards the direction of the ship as well. I think you probably do get there first. So in that case, you see as you kind of come up the elevator and out into like the dock area. For these stations, or at least the Voltorm stations, they have like an entryway into the station where you dock, which is just singular for like small, mid, and large ships. And they also have like a kind of dry dock area where you can clamp on if it's a big inner cruiser, like military force stuff. They actually just kind of like extend and clamp as opposed to dock. But yeah, the ship you see in front of you is a type of ship you recognize. It is a long trader, slightly older model, and your guess is that, based off your knowledge and what you know, it was probably built at the Iolo dry dock in the last like 15 years or so. You have like a fairly decent knowledge of the like blueprint and layout of it. Given what you know of the captain so far, you probably know it better than he does.
I'd walk up and just be like, oh, long trader ship, cool.
Yeah. I said you probably
these.
recognize it.
Yeah. Definitely very familiar with these. It'd be easy to find my way around, and I've flown them before.
And if there's any secret cubby holes built in or anything, do let me know.
Sure. There's a few.
He says, okay, so and like the cargo side bay like extends and you walk up in. He says, to begin with, I'll take you to the to the bridge pilot area, and you can have a look around there and get accustomed to it.
Perfect.
And then yeah, after you're comfortable, you can decide where you want to pick a bunk, and a little bit later we'll have a crew meeting to talk about the first job and what we're gonna do. So
Sounds good.
Follow me this way.
Bottom bunk left. All right. I just like shoulder my bag and follow him in.
Yeah. So he takes you through the common room area. It's just essentially a relaxation area, you know, like comfy chairs, a few bits of entertainment and whatnot. There's a little light music playing just vaguely.
Yeah, I immediately kind of relax a little when I see this place, because A, it's familiar to be inside the ship, super familiar, and B, this is one of my favorite areas of it because I really like to chill. So I'm like, oh great, I hope that coffee maker works. Does that coffee maker work okay?
I don't think it's been turned on. And then he walks over and like flips a switch, and nothing happens. He's like, it may be broken.
Oh, okay. Well, we can either fix it or maybe get a new one. We'll see. Is there like an engineer on board or a handyman?
I don't know if they're here yet, but we are looking to bring one on. So,
Great.
Romy is handling that. So.
Sounds good. Well, hopefully there'll be someone to fix it.
Okay. Yeah, come and take a look at where you'll be working. And he just like takes you through the common room area. Like it opens up into a fairly large, like quite a few consoles and bits and pieces, and obviously a like flight stick seat. Like you sit in the seat, there's like a flight stick so you can fly the ship, and quite a few consoles in front as well, very clearly. And also, you'd know this, that's the pilot seat.
Yeah. I'd probably walk up and just be like, you mind? And just kind of like sit and look around and just kind of like look at all the dials, look at the sensor readout above my head, and just kind of get a hold of it. And I'm like, exactly like I remember.
Yeah.
Right.
The ship information above your head indicates that there's not enough power to like turn on the engines. However, there is enough fuel in there to, you know, like the fuel readouts are good. The power readouts are like essentially the generator's kind of banked and it's not able to power the engines and lift off.
What's this thing?
Oh,
Hi?
so they're not currently it's not currently active at the moment, but that is the ship's AI. It came
Really?
it came with a mobile option. So
Furry. I like it. Hi ship.
meow 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 meow.
Nice to meet you, Meow.
It doesn't really act that much like a cat. If it annoys you, just shove it out the room. It should be fine.
I don't mind.
Usually it does patrols to just make sure everything's working. There's some rooms where the AI doesn't have a console or anything, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind. Cool. Interesting. It's weird that it's furry, but alright. Cool with me. I just kind of like lean back in the chair and I'm like, you know, there's plenty of fuel, but there's not actually enough power for us to take off.
The Colton, you'll meet him probably at some point. He probably just lowered the power output as we're not currently going to be taking off or going anywhere yet.
Oh.
Again, something I didn't realize was possible, but you can moderate the power generation to save on fuel.
Yeah, definitely. Good point. Cool. Alright.
I think you can activate probably just above you there. If you want to intercom over to the generator room, you can just activate that and it'll put a line through to that room. Just as a sidebar, not as Fane. That's not true. It's in front of you. It's the panel in front of you that activates that type of thing. Just so you know.
Okay. I just kind of nodded him, like, because I know the layout of this ship, and I'm like, it's too much trouble to tell him any different, and I'm lazy, so I'm just gonna, like, I know it, so I'm just gonna do it. It's fine.
While we're traveling, I will most likely take second place to you in that seat over there. I haven't yet completely familiarized myself with the console.
Well, if you have any questions ever, I am really familiar with these ships, so
Good.
happy to help.
Yeah, no, I pick things up pretty quickly, so.
Cool.
Okay.
Easy.
And yeah, the only other thing is just figure out which bunk you want and claim it. And you'll get a shout when it's time for the meeting. We're gonna have a dinner.
Oh, good.
And just everyone can get to know each other, and we'll talk about what next.
Sounds like a plan to me. Maybe I'll head back there and choose one of the bottom bunks if one is available.
Well, they're not like bunk beds. They're just the room. You get a whole room to yourself.
Oh,
Yeah.
great. Perfect.
It's quite large, actually. It's very spacious and comfy.
Lovely. All right. So I probably would get up and like just go there because I know where it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just pick one, whichever one is closer to the bridge direction.
Oh, so you don't have to walk that far?
Yeah.
Okay. I believe Colton took one of the lower ones, didn't he?
Yeah, it was number
It was the
3?
It was the middle one, right?
It was the one near the airlock, wasn't it?
It was, yes. So the two on the left are available. One is like your door is right next to the door, either going straight to the bridge or in like just down the corner to the. I'll turn on the thing for people watching so they can see the ship quickly.
Which is also available in the Discord. So join
It
the
is also
Discord if you want to look at
available
it.
on Discord if you'd
Yeah.
like to look. I think someone put up the standard for Trader for the for Traveler. I made some adjustments, so I put up the one that I made the adjustments with as well.
Cool. So, wait, he took which one? The one on the.
He took the one below number 4, the airlock,
Okay.
and then the other two on the left are free.
So I would take the closest one.
Probably the one in the middle then, yeah.
Yeah. Because then I could literally just go like that. Okay.
Yeah. And just again as a point of reference for Careene, they're not massive rooms. Like they're all right, but you can kind of draw the conclusion that he's not used to big, comfy, massive rooms. So
Yeah, because I mean, I've been on all kinds of ships, and
Yeah.
so and I've seen all kinds of ships, and so I'm kind of like nodding because I have a job. I'm getting off the station, I'm moving somewhere, and it's a ship I am really familiar with, and any inconsistencies with what he's saying are kind of like,
yeah.
they don't matter, and
Yeah.
it's too much hassle to like explain. So I'm like very go with it kind of.
And also like comparative to the scout ships you used to work with, like those are all engine and fuel tanks, and there's very little space. There's like literally a pilot like cockpit and then a tiny little living area in the back, so it's better than that at least. Okay, so we'll shift over from Careene in her bunk to Astrid coming up the elevator with Romy. Still talking, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the elevator opens and you see the ship in front of you. It's... You've probably seen some in this state before. It's not amazing, it's not terrible, it's a little rundown. Just first look.
Well, this is decent little fixer upper. Can work with this.
Yeah. Well, we're hoping to... We're hoping to get to the point where we can start adding in upgrades, and we'll talk about it in the crew meeting once everyone's settled.
How much did your captain pay for this thing?
We've managed to pull together, myself and the captain, and we have about, I think, around about 40 or so % of the mortgage paid off, so another 60 to go.
Alright. Just sort of like looking around, just like might have been ripped off a little bit. But
Yeah. And also, like you've been around people who work with ships and things like that. I mean, some of them earned the ships they had, some of them didn't. Let's not get into that right now.
Yeah.
But 40% is pretty good. Usually when a trader captain starts up, it's usually on about 20%, and that's like reasonably good.
Yeah. Oh, definitely doable. Can I have a look at this engine room then?
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
I'll give you the tour. Okay. And like the side of the ship opens and go up the ramp. There's always over here on the right, and kind of like the best way I can describe how he walks is clomps. So he clomps over to the door and it slides open. Colton, your door slides open, and there's a big kind of like gorilla man standing there.
You're the engineer.
No, I'm the first mate.
I'm just gonna put my head around the corner of the door like, hi, that's me.
Oh.
Engineer.
I look at this. She's in space terms. She's like super young, right? When she's 30 something or something like that.
26.
And
good
probably
grief.
like in terms of our
In terms of me, that's really young.
this is a good moment to touch on it. Like when we say Astrid is, how old is she? 36?
26.
26. God damn. Okay. Astrid is 26. She probably looks about 18 because of the life extension therapy that everyone gets. You age slower. And it generally the life extension therapy starts around 16 to 18. It's not really needed before then, and so you start aging a lot slower. So some of the characters here are in their like quite high numbers, like 40s, 50s, 60s, but they still look in their 20s and 30s because of that. As I said at the beginning, 60 is the new 30, so. And incidentally, Romy does look like he could be reaching his 70s, 80s. Fane looks a bit younger than that, maybe more like 40 or maybe 30 even. And Colton, there's kind of internal weighing up going across Romy's face as he like looks at you and kind of weighs you up physically, I guess is the best way to describe it.
I just wait for him to do it. I mean, I don't need to rush.
If you'll excuse us, I'm taking the engineer through to the engine room.
As soon as he says that and he doesn't need me, I'm just going to carry on.
Alright, this way, Astrid.
Alright. Nice meeting you.
Goes through. And you are taken through to the engine room.
Coolio.
Let's have a look here. Okay. In the engine room, you can see. You've been inside a Far Trader, and this make of Far Trader. It was like partially dismantled, but you got a decent enough look at it. It's got one large engine, which is essentially the travel engine. This is the really powerful one that runs off iridium rods, and also doubles as a kind of. So here we're getting into deep lore. So essentially, this engine can either take you quick speeds off iridium rods, which essentially supercharge it, but you don't have much maneuverability. It's essentially, we want to go in a straight line for a couple of weeks, and then you travel like that. An iridium rod will last about a week of long travel like that. You can also switch over the engine to like travel, but not kind of like long distance travel where you can also maneuver, which runs off the fuel in the ship. And then additionally, you have, and you know these engines, like you have the kick ports, where you can essentially take it's essentially like a hose, attach the kick hose onto the front of the engine, and that will fill the engine for a while with kick fuel, which is like an afterburner. You don't want to be putting that in unless you want the afterburner effect.
Yeah.
And then you've got two other engines to the side, which are essentially maneuver engines, which you add a bit to the left, add a bit to the right. That's all done by the pilot, you just have to maintain it. And then you have the additional like thrusters, which is if you need to maneuver in space.
Gotcha. All right.
So
I'm just gonna look over the engine.
The engine holo image is down currently if you want to like switch it on and give it a quick look over.
Just gonna boot that up.
Okay.
Have a look what's going on here.
Yeah. So there's essentially a little kind of hollow image like pumps up and starts displaying all the bits and pieces. You kind of like flip through it a little bit. The kick fuel in the tank comes up at about 30 minutes. Essentially, there's enough for about 30 minutes of kick.
Okay.
In storage, there is already an iridium fuel rod in the engine. That was presumably put there for when they want to go. The problem with that is it slowly gets drained while it's in the engine. It needs to be kept in its casing. So it currently has probably about 5 days of travel as opposed to a week because it's been slowly draining. There are 17 more iridium rods in the storage tanks, which is kind of like in front of you to the right. They've got these like bits you can pull out.
Yeah.
And about a week of engine fuel in the tank. So that would be a week of like let's call it slow burn as opposed to hard burn.
Okay. All right. Well, first thing I'm gonna do so I don't, fucking electrocute myself is I'm gonna power it all down.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take that.
Just like lowering the power levels.
Yeah.
Colton, over on yours, there's like a pop-up comes up on the on your console that basically says engine room powering down. Like all the draw on the power just goes.
Okay. I'll intercom through.
Yeah.
Engineering.
Sup?
Never mind. And I just match the power flow.
the intercom just goes.
All right. Fucking
I
hell.
just match the power flow,
Yeah.
and if there's a request to come through for more power, I'll increase it. But otherwise, I'll just bring it down so we don't need to use anymore.
Okay. Yeah, you just kind of like.
Alright, so I'm just gonna take that iridium rod, which is currently set in there. I'm just gonna pull it out halfway and just sort of like leave it, because if we just stationary it, there's no need for it to just be sat there draining or plugged in. I can just reattach it once we're actually heading out there. Got a full stock.
And like Romy's sitting there, and you see him like raises, and he just scratches the top of his head, like he's like watching intently what you're doing with no idea of why you're doing it.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, don't ever copy what I do.
Right.
Shouldn't really do this, but I mean, it's alright.
Okay.
It's alright as long as I do it. You're not really sort of meant to just like leave them, halfway out the engine.
Halfway. Okay.
Yeah. They should either be fully inserted or just like completely powered down. But as long as no one comes in here and messes with it, it's completely fine.
All right.
Ish.
And you're not gonna leave it like that for.
No, I mean we're docked. We're docked.
We are docked.
It's fine
yes.
whilst we're docked. I'm not gonna leave the army. Come on. You trust me?
Mostly. There was
There we go.
There was that time where I got this, and he like reaches under his ribs. He's like, this scar over here.
I think we're both in that same fight, mate.
Right. Yes. you got a nick on your eyebrow. I got stabbed under the ribs.
Well, you're the one who chose to defend yourself with a spoon, mate. Kind of on you.
I only had a spoon.
Alright.
Right.
Okay, but, yeah, so I'm just gonna do that there. I'm gonna turn the, engine screen back on.
Yeah.
Make sure the power's turned down, and I'm just gonna lock that screen bit. I'm just gonna set up a passcode if I can, just a 4-digit passcode, so no one's actually gonna come in here, turn it up and down.
Okay. If you make a note of it and let me know what it is.
Yeah.
Incidentally, on your handouts for your specific rooms and things, you can see passcodes if passcodes are needed. So, and you can set up your own passcodes on your consoles and things like that. The only problem with that will be is if, like, for example, if Careene sets up a passcode on the pilot terminals, and then Careene isn't there and they need to take off, it'll essentially be locked out unless they can figure out a way to overwrite or divert it. So.
Yeah, but no one else really gonna have any need to come fiddle with shit in here.
Hopefully.
It's all good. Yeah. Alright, so we'll just leave this how it is for now.
Right.
It's like there's obviously no before we're gonna go set off, and I'll
Right.
get it.
Okay. And everything else is set up and ready to launch.
Yeah. I say we could maybe get a little bit more fuel, just because I don't. Where's our first charter to? So obviously that depends how much we're gonna need.
So the captain is currently in negotiations. We're gonna be doing a job for the Voltorm expanded for these people who own the station. From what we know of the job so far, we'll most likely be going out to Annie,
Okay.
one of the planets out there.
Alright, we've got probably about a week's travel time.
So the fuel week of fuel is the like slow burn. So that would be once you get to your destination to like you come out of the hard burn off the rods.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Sorry, I got overexcited when I was doing all of the travel system, and I was like, this is really cool, I like this, and I'm like, yeah.
Is that the only place you got really excited, Sheepy?
No, we'll
Tell them, Sheepy.
We'll find out more places, more
Okay.
things as we go.
Mm-hmm.
Don't bully.
Nerd.
So yeah, essentially the travel from planet to planet is usually done with slow burn, which would be the fuel. If you're going from system to system or longer distances, you'll use the iridium rods, which will give you hard burn, not heartburn, for about a week.
Alright, we're golden. Yeah, everything seems alright in here. Maybe just, I don't know, later on down the line, once we actually cash some jobs in, just upgrading the quality of some of these wires. Yeah, but I can work with this. Yeah.
We had to do what we could with some of the supplies. Limited budget after acquiring the ship.
No, it's all good. The guy in the generator room, is he always like that?
That was the first time I met him.
Coolio.
So, I'm gonna guess yes.
I think with some of those leftover funds we could like buy him a smile or something. No.
I mean,
Okay.
that's number two.
I mean, what's up? Someone got your tongue?
God damn it, PG. Yeah, then all that's left for you to do is claim a bunk. There's quite a few spare, so it's possible
Wait.
we'll even pick up some passengers. I don't know. Depends where we go, I guess.
Alright. Which one's free there?
So
I know like out character which one I already want. the one closest to the kitchen on the upper
Yeah,
deck.
that's free.
Yeah.
So essentially, like, you go out and he's like, so there's a couple over there, and then if you go up this staircase, then there's some up there. There's a few opposite the farm, and then there's one that just like backs out into the kitchen. And
That
like,
one.
Yeah, the second you say kitchen, you like, I imagine Astrid just immediately runs up the stairs like, mine.
I'm just gonna stomp all the way up there. And you can just like hear me like from the upper level, just like,
Yeah.
fucking hell, I want this one. Come all the way back down.
Yeah.
All right, I've chosen one.
All right. Well, you don't have any gear or anything to offload.
No, but besides this, and she's like flicks out the knife again.
Right, yeah. It's not as bad on the ship, but, you know, get to know people first so they understand that you're not gonna, yeah. Alright. Well, in that case, get accustomed to the ship. There's gonna be a crew meeting in a little while, so just listen out for that. There'll be dinner as well. Although you have just eaten, so you're probably not hungry for...
I never said that, but
Okay, well, we'll make sure there's enough for you as well then.
sweet.
And he just kind of stands there awkwardly for like 10 seconds, and then just turns and walks out the door.
Bye.
Yeah. Does Astrid want to go up to quarters, or do you want to go to the engine room? It's really up to you. You've got a bit of time to kill.
All right, so I'm gonna head back up the stairs to the upper deck.
Yeah.
So I've chosen my room. I'm just gonna try and find like a big old marker pen or something. I'm just gonna write Astrid on the door.
Okay.
And then afterwards, I think I'm gonna turn. I'm gonna see there was actually a place for a name placard, but it's fine. Ooh, it's a farm up here.
Question.
Yeah.
How big? Are we talking like on like a little bit like that, or are we talking like from the top of the door down to the bottom, just Astrid?
Top of the door down, but probably
Yeah.
from the left all the way to the right.
Left
like
to
some
right, okay,
some
okay.
chunky letters.
I'm-
My handwriting's not great, but
I'm just
probably
wondering.
just gonna like hold it it's like ass. Gotta try and fit that in there.
I'm just wondering whether like the delinquent is claiming the room for herself or just graffitiing the door. Like, you know, there's a difference.
A bit of both.
Bit of both. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. I noticed there's like farm up here as well. I want to go like peer, like, just like press my nose up against glass, see what's happening there.
You can't see through, but when you go to the door, it will slide open.
All right. Oh.
You want to poke your head in?
Yeah.
Nomi, you're
Hi.
currently bent over the. Calm down. You're currently crouched over the tangerine tree, the sapling. And as you kind of see like a little movement in the corner of your vision, and look up and see Astrid's head, like begoggled and kind of like poking in to see what's going on. Look of excited wonder, I think, is the best way to describe it.
It's a tangerine.
You're a tangerine. You don't look very orange to me.
The plant. No.
Oh shit, yeah.
Are you lost?
I mean, maybe a little bit. Hi. I'm
Hi.
Astrid.
Nomi Sinay.
Are you like missing your hat or something?
What?
You're like gnomes. Never mind. Are you the bottlist?
No.
No?
What's a bottlist?
I thought someone made. I thought it was someone who made bottles. So I was told they were working in the farm.
Botanist. One who works with plants.
What do bottles have to do with plants?
Well, actually, you can use them as a primitive form of irrigation.
Do what now?
Fill a bottle with water, turn it upside down. Use it to water the plant.
Ah.
Good for long voyages. Or when you need to go ashore.
It's like if you just turn the bottle upside down, all the water's just going to come out straight away.
Not necessarily.
No?
No.
Okay.
Are you sure you're not lost?
This is the deep waters, right?
Yes. I
Cool.
think. Yes. Yes.
Are you sure you're not lost?
Yes.
So you are sure that you're lost?
Are you all right? And I'll
Just
take
gonna,
a
like,
torch
check yourself
out and go
over.
right up to her face, like super close, and start shining the torch in her eyes to make sure she hasn't got a concussion.
Random lady, known person, off. Off. And she's very close, so I'm just gonna get her by the forearms and use my strength and just sort of like pick her up or just place her about 2 steps backwards.
Okay, yeah.
Bad known person.
You also, as this happens, and you're kind of like there. Shall I say awkwardly facing off against each other?
Well, as far as Nomi's concerned, this isn't a face-off. This is a medical examination.
Yeah.
But
you hear kind of like the clomp boots of someone walking along the gangway upstairs, just outside the farm, and Fane, the captain, pokes his head through and says, "Nomi, engineer?
What's up?
Hello. I'm the captain.
Oh, hi.
Fane Leth.
Hi, Astrid. You met the gnome person.
Nomi, yes. Botanist, farmer.
Oh, bot. Yeah.
Sorry, am I interrupting?
I was checking her for a concussion.
Oh,
I'll check you for something in a minute, mate.
and does she have a concussion?
No.
Good. Clean bill of health. I had a quick question about this list. And he holds up the list you, like, wrote out for him of things needed.
Yes.
Fucking hell, that's a full piece of paper.
Well, it's a very
It is.
unfull farm.
Unfulfilled farm, yes. Nomi, on this shopping list, it says composite, but it doesn't say composite what. I'm assuming, like, a composite flak armor or something along those lines?
Compost?
Right.
Soil with nutrients added.
Right. So not composite, but compost.
I'm sure if you have some composites of various materials, I could make use of them, but it's not
The
on
thing
the
on the
list.
list is compost, right? And his head just like ducks back and he disappears. And starts walking off down the thing. You hear like a learn to read.
Wow.
Also, just before you get back into the social standoff you're currently in, you're all now on the ship, and you're not rooted into your rooms, so if you go exploring, if, for example, Astrid and Nomi are having this chat, and you walk past the farm and hear them, or just wander into it to see what the hell it is, feel free, and, you know, just to let you know.
I, at those cables and stuff are being annoying me, so I'm gonna roll a D2. 1 downstairs, 2 upstairs.
Okay.
Oh, that's not right. Yeah, I'm upstairs. There's some annoying cables, but
Yeah.
I need to sort them out.
Okay. So this isn't to see if you succeed or if you don't. This is to see whether it makes the farm lights flicker. If you're down for that. So please roll me an electronics. My god, you've got great electronics.
Oh, that's great. Apparently.
Good enough to succeed. Yeah. And the negative of fixing these is essentially like you can kind of like you can fix it, but only for now. They're gonna come loose again unless you essentially disconnect and reconnect them and kind of solder them properly.
Yeah.
Which would cause the farm lights to flicker.
No, at the moment, there's just so many that I can't fully fix everything. I just want to make everything okay for now, and then I can go through and fix it properly later. And I'll probably stick my head in the farm.
Yeah.
Do the lounge lights flicker? Because that's where I am.
No, the lounge lights are downstairs. So.
Okay, I'm just fiddling with the coffee machine, just kind of like being like.
Yeah, you don't.
Trying to decide if I should keep trying or leave
No.
it for someone else.
You don't need to roll for that. It was unplugged.
Oh. Oh, so I'd probably actually mess with it for a minute and just be like weird,
Like
and then
10
I'd find the
seconds,
plug.
and then you see that it's unplugged. Yeah.
Yeah, and be like, oh, all right, and I'd plug it in, and then I'd make some coffee, and then I'd probably just like.
The second you plug it in, it immediately goes like. Because he turned
Like,
it on.
Yeah, and I'd be like, oh, cool, all right. So then I'd make some coffee, and I'd probably just like lounge and just chill.
Yeah.
For a bit.
Yeah, you can hear a little bit of clinky clanky from the upper floors, but it is what it is. And
I'm too lazy to go up there, and I know people are eventually going to end up down here in the lounge, so just chilling.
Colton, you can hear the Nomi and Astrid. You don't know exactly who it is at this point, but you can hear them kind of conversing just like down the hallway a little bit in the farm. So if it gets to you, you can always poke your head in and say, "Shut
Yeah,
up."
no, I'm a poke. Well, I'm looking for cables. There might be something in there. I'm just gonna sort of stand by the door, wait for it to do the.
Yeah. So sorry to interrupt. You two social butterflies. Please continue.
I think that there would be genuinely like an awkward pause when Nomi's wondering why she's still here. And then just turns around and goes back to watering and tending this poor tangerine tree.
Is this your farm then?
No, it's the ship's farm. I'm a farmer, I suppose.
I thought you said you were a botanist.
Botanist.
Right.
It means I look after plants. I'm good with plants.
As you've already told me. Say looking after plants, you only got the...
For now. Hopefully once the captain returns, we'll have more. Seeds,
Alright.
soil. There was a long list.
I saw. Very long list. Right, as long as you got nothing else you want to shine in my eye. I'm trying to find something to eat.
He's hasn't returned with the UV lights yet.
Okay.
The door opens. Oh.
Oh, it's generator dude. It doesn't smile.
Hello.
I look around. Cables. Anything broken?
Well, plants. No cables. Or plant.
Because that is completely irrelevant to our masking, I just pretend she doesn't exist.
Yes.
So the lights in here had flickered. Right?
They did flicker.
They did. The lights flickered. Again.
Try to fix.
No rush at the moment. He hasn't returned with the UV light, so it's purely decorative at the moment. But at
I don't know
some point
lights.
soon, I would appreciate it.
I'll do it now.
Thank you.
And I will go out, go get a toolbox, and come in. And I will properly fix the lights because there was actually something broken and relevant rather than no, these are plants.
As you walk out, and just a note for all three of you because you're pretty much within range at this point, you can start to smell like a kind of cooking food like wafting down the hallway. And Colton, you'll actually see as you go out into the hallway, you'll see at the end in the kitchen, the big gorilla type dude is kind of bent over the oven and seems to be whipping something up.
Does he seem to be doing it as if he knows how to do it, or is he just like smashing around in the kitchen?
As much as you can tell from looking at his back, he seems to know what he's doing.
Okay. Well, I mean, there's a difference between someone going.
There
"Oh,
very much
fucking-"
is, yeah. You know, he seems to be about a purpose.
Okay. I'll come back in with like one of those little fold-out step ladders, and soldering iron, some cable crimps and stuff. I'm just gonna fix it without saying a word because nothing needs to be said.
Yeah.
I already said it.
And in the same, as he's doing that, Nomi's like taking a cloth and damping it with water from the bottle and just wiping off the leaves and doing what she can to this plant to make it not die.
As like the door opens, so the calls
Silence.
come back. Like I can smell the food coming from the hallway, so I'm just gonna go out that way.
Okay, yeah. Almost floating. Like
Everyone else in
cartoon.
it is being rude to me, so I'm just gonna go with something to eat.
And as you head off in that way, Careene, the captain, walks into the lounge area, like kind of off in his own world, flops onto one of the sofas, and like spread eagle, like boots over the edge of it as well. Just kind of like lies down and like pulls a pillow and just kind of puts it over his head and his eyes. You hear it be like compost.
I look at him like
Compost.
I just kind of like maybe I have like a little tablet or something. I'm just kind of playing with it, reading star charts or something, and I'm just like I look at him and I'm just like too much effort. And I'm only playing with it because I'm bored. And I'm drinking coffee. Like it's not because I want to be industrious.
You hear the captain like sniff as like, and the pillow, the kind of pillow comes off his head. He looks up. He's like, Pilot Careene,
Hey.
you got the coffee maker working? The coffee worker making?
Yes. I plugged it in.
It was unplugged.
Yep.
Kind of sums up my day, to be honest.
Was that bad?
I have a list of things I need to go buy for the farm. Apparently, we don't have a farm.
Oh, so it's like a not functional farm?
So I'm told from our botanist, science person.
Oh, there's a botanist. Oh, cool.
Yeah, but she's upstairs now trying to save apparently a dying tree, which I have no idea that it was dying.
Yeah, that stuff's kind of important for long trips.
Yeah.
Good to give you a list. Now you have.
Yeah, got it
stuff
right
to
here. I need to go out and buy all these things. And then he puts the list on the table, takes the pillow, and just puts it over his head and like lies down.
You are gonna go buy this stuff, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Well, if you want a coffee, it's right over there.
maybe after I wake up. I'm gonna have a little nap before dinner.
That sounds reasonable.
Yeah. But hey, feel free to go and introduce yourself to the crew if you want. We're gonna have a. Just start snoring.
Yeah, I was about to ask when's dinner, but I realized he's asleep.
Yeah.
Do I smell the food?
It probably wouldn't make it this far down yet.
Yeah.
But you
I'd
do know
probably
that the
just-
kitchen's upstairs.
Yeah, I'd probably just kind of shrug and be like, I'm assuming someone will call us when it's actually time for dinner.
Well, the captain's right
cat.
there, so they're gonna call him at the very least.
Yeah. All right. So that I literally just like lean back and I'm like reading whatever random shit on my
Yeah.
tablet, just kind of chilling.
Does Astrid have a purpose, or is she just going to kind of like lean around Romy while he's cooking, waiting, like trying not to be too when's lunch?
It's gonna be like hovering. I'll probably like go and like sit on like a counter, like on the other side, just like, what you doing?
Making dinner. Yeah, and he pulls out like a spoonful of. It's essentially like a It looks like some type of stew. It's got some meat in there. It's got some other like veg and stuff that holds it out for you. Tell me how it tastes. It's the best I can say. The best I can say is it's lacking some spice, some kind of like
Use a little salt.
salt. We should add that to the list. I don't think we have salt.
Alright. Pepper. Garlic. Chili.
He like starts looking through cupboards and stuff. He like pulls out what does he pull out? Pulls out some bacon.
Ah.
Bacon.
Yeah. Right up. Finely dice it. Mix it all in.
Okay.
And then the oil that you cook the bacon, put that in the stew as well.
Alright. And it's just kind of like, and then you can hear the frying and the thing. At that point, I'm gonna say with the added bacon frying, it will start to permeate more of the ship. So it probably won't reach you down in the common room though, because you've got that massive cargo area, which will just dilute it. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of hungry, but I'm afraid if I go up there, they'll make me do things to help with dinner. So I'm just gonna wait until the last minute.
That's fair.
I'm just gonna start like setting the table. So
Yeah.
for how many?
6 total.
6.
Yeah.
Right.
We don't have any passengers currently, so it's just the crew.
Okay. Right. I'm just gonna start, instead of like doing the sensible thing, like asking around, like, oh, like where the plates, I'm just gonna be like opening every cupboard and like try and find where they are. I'm just gonna leave the doors open.
You're like going under the oven and like opening up a cupboard that like hits him in the knee and like kind of going
sorry.
around and getting He just kind of keeps going. And
Plates.
I think we'll accelerate things for a little bit. Everyone's often doing their little odd jobs or getting in the way or just literally trying to avoid working. Not just you, the captain as well is currently asleep on the sofa opposite you. And finally the intercom goes off over entire shipwide.
So, dinner's ready. Head on up to the kitchen. Food is served. Astrid, no, don't touch that.
Sorry.
I just kind of like raise an eyebrow and I'm like looking at the captain to see if that woke him up. Did that wake him up?
There's like 3-second beat, and then then it like just raises almost like at a right angle. Is just sitting up. The pillow's like still kind of resting on top of his head, and then it like slides off and drops into his lap. And he's got like his eyes still closed and open up and food.
Dinner.
Food.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah.
Let's go.
All right, and he stands up and stretches and just kind of like reaches down towards his toe. There's like a slight twang you hear. Might have been like a crack. Doesn't seem to react to it though. And then he stands up and just walks out and heads towards the.
Yeah, I'm gonna like get up and follow him. Also, I'll just kind of like tuck my little tablet inside my jacket and just kind of like I kind of look around the lounge for a second, and I'm like, this is definitely gonna be a chill spot aside from the actual pilot seat. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to be in a familiar place where I can chill and there are not too many expectations.
Yeah.
And then I'll go up.
The bar has been set pretty low by our captain.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Careene's like super happy with the amount of chill so far.
I take it everyone else is heading over to the kitchen.
Yes, but Colton, in his head, is going to the mess room.
Mess room, yes. So one by one you'll get there, and everything's set up. It's basically just knives, forks, plate, pretty much, and there's also a glass. But in terms of options for drinking, it's water or milk. There is milk in the fridge.
And the pan.
Yeah. And this big kind of like big pot with a slightly bubbly lid is put in the center of it, and Romy kind of looks around. The captain has walked in, and then Romy takes the lid off the top. Like big like blooms of steam come out, and it's basically a big stew. There's mince in there, there's potato, there's carrot, there's some tomato, there's like little flecks of bacon in there as well. It's nothing fancy, but it's everything to sustain you, essentially. And the captain looks around and says, "All right, let's see." No, wait! And he like runs off, and like you hear him like boof 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 down the hallway. And after like maybe 30 seconds of everyone standing there awkwardly, you hear him doof 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 doof, and he comes back and runs in with this big kind of like golden loaf of bread. It's kind of like the size of my arm here. It's like a big chunky thing. He's like, "Can't do without this," and like puts it down there for people to basically pick out, and says, "Okay, now let's eat," and sits down.
You're so cute and pathetic.
Yeah.
Oh.
And he immediately like scoops a big helping of stew, like puts it in his bowl, and like rips off a bit of bread, like looks up, and you're all still standing there. He's like, "Dig in."
As soon as he said that, I will sit down.
Yeah, I'll just sit and kind of just like start taking food and kind of look around, and I look at Colton, who I'm assuming is next to me, and I'm just like, "Hey,
Colton.
Green. I'm the pilot."
Power.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Whoa, aren't we all getting along lovely?
Nomi isn't actually at the table yet. She's gone over and is meticulously washing her hands. Before she, yeah, and it takes her quite a while. I think you're probably half a bowl down before she's back at the table and peering over to see if there's anything left.
And the captain's already like two smears on his chin into this stew, and he pauses for a moment and looks up at the other side of the table and says, Romy, do remember to put on the shopping list something to drink that isn't water. We have a lot of water, that's great, but something a bit more tasty is, and not milk.
We need more coffee.
We need
Also,
coffee. Okay.
more coffee.
And Romy's kind of been like hovering around instead of sitting down. And he walks over to the thing and like pulls out a piece of paper and says, right, coffee and something to drink that tastes
Okay, we'll
flavor.
taste.
Also, as much sugar as you can find.
As much of
Sugar.
sugar,
Something sweet.
sweet, sugar,
And-
salt and pepper, some spices,
garlic.
some garlic, yes.
Live garlic.
And like he's just
I can
there,
grow
like
more.
people shouting out and like more things. He's like, yes, garlic and sugar.
There's all the silly little things that I need that I'm shouting out as it's going through as well.
Yeah, it's like
We need a lot.
power clips, right? That's not food though, but power clips, right? And just
Sirto fruit, if you could.
Certa root.
Fruit.
Certa fruit
I'll give you a list.
list. Okay. And
Love the
you
list.
you see like the captain's eating pause at his like halfway to his mouth for a second, and like then just carry on. Like he's like, shit, the list.
When
How
Nomi
much
says,
is on its stomach now?
when Nomi starts talking about the fruit and stuff, I'm like, botanist, right?
Yes,
Nice to meet you.
Pilot.
I'm the pilot. Yeah.
I
Great.
heard.
And the captain like leans over while still trying to eat, but starting to spill food on the table, and like leans over towards Careene and is like, "Where's the list?"
Romy has it?
No, the one I had, the list that I had.
Oh, it might be in the couch cushions in the lounge. I think you rolled over onto it. Maybe.
And like very subtly, except for not at all, he like leans back to his original position, puts his hand on the table, stands up and goes, "Excuse me, I must use the bathroom," and then just turns and walks off down the hallway.
Oh, yeah.
Look at him.
Toilet paper.
Oh, yeah.
Toilet paper.
Romy.
Nomi digs in with a gusto you probably wouldn't expect. She's usually quite graceful and lithe, and she just fucking chows down on this stuff. It is not ladylike.
Actually, same. Like, I look like I'm efficiently trying to put as much food in my mouth as possible to get it done.
Mm.
We probably
I'm
eat
just-
faster than Astrid.
I was like a bit surprised. I thought I'd have plenty left here with these fuckers, but I guess not.
I'm
Good.
eating super slowly because
Yeah.
I'm just chilling.
And like while you're eating, a big like looming head comes down to your side, and Roby's there, and he's like, "How is it?"
It's fine.
It's stew.
Good.
It's good.
Here's my bacon.
Good.
Bacon's good.
We only have a limited supply. I'll go put it on the list.
Put it on the list.
And bacon.
Are
Okay.
you a engineer?
Oh, shit, yeah. Hi, I'm Astrid.
It's like,
Oh, it's fine. So I dropped my spoon and like a bit of stew just like spills
the
out.
spoon just kind of like splatters a bit.
Are you sorry about the soup?
Oh, it's fine. It's like I reach my hand up and it was like, it's grubby.
Yeah, I just kind of like nod at her while I.
Nomi will point after Romy. Who was that one?
I think he's the like second.
That's Romy.
Yeah,
Romy.
might
Eddie
be good
kind
to
of-
ask him when you need stuff.
He-
Her eyes light up for a second, like brilliant. I don't have to deal with the captain anymore.
Roby kind of lumbers over to the table, holds his hand out and says, Nomi Bankwell.
Nomi Sinay.
Mix of muscle and second in command, I guess. First mate.
Mix of muscle.
Nice to meet you, actually.
If we ever get into a sticky situation, I can handle myself okay.
When he says that, I reach down to my sidearm and I just slam a Glock 17 on the table and carry on eating.
He responds by reaching into his belt underneath his jacket, and he smacks down essentially what looks like a magnum.
Nice. I look at the gun.
So
I look at the gun
it's
longer than I look at him,
Yes.
but I look at him and nod and go,
It's a
Fucking hell, you're gonna compare your dicks
revolver.
next.
no.
That would be unhygienic for a kitchen.
Glad you're considering that.
Has everybody had bread?
Some more, please.
Still working on this.
Rip a
piece.
chunk off. Pass it to her. Rip a chunk off for me. Dunk it in the remnants of the stew.
And the captain comes back in and sits down, looking very slightly flustered and like he desperately ran and tore apart a couch. And then like looks at Careene and says, "It was on the table."
I didn't quite notice.
I love him. I love him so much.
Yeah.
I'll look at the captain belt. What was that?
There's some stuff on sale that I want to go look at later. Stuff on the list, which I've had on me the whole time.
I know a trader.
So, this is the entirety of the crew. Yeah. We have our pilot, Careene. I assume you've all... I should have had the meeting before dinner so you could all introduce yourselves and get to know each other. I figure at this point everyone knows each other, right?
Meeting over food is usually psychologically better than meeting without food.
I've heard that.
People like food.
Food is good.
I've heard that. What's that, the third time someone made me break today? Jesus. People like food. What the hell's wrong with you?
When he says that about the crew, I sort of look around and I assume he hired me because I'm decent at the thing he hired me for. I'm not the best, but I'm decent. I assume everyone else is good at what they do.
Yeah.
Not that he's instilled that much confidence in me, but not really that lack of confidence either. Just here's the thing, do the thing. There you go. I don't know engines. I'm a captain. Makes sense.
There was also the aspect of a favor, or like a favor, mutual contact type thing. So
I just assume everyone knows how to do, and from what I can tell from Nomi, she just does what she needs to do, and that's
yeah.
I think Colton just aligns with that quite a bit.
So well, Careene is our pilot. Comes highly recommended and expecting great things. He kind of looks at you like he didn't mean to kind of carry on. And he was just like, yeah, it's our pilot, and then he just kept going.
Yeah, I'm just like, yeah, flying's kind of my thing.
Fine, yeah. So Colton is our gonna be running our generators, act as quartermaster, keep our supplies in check. Oh, that reminds me. And he like goes into his jacket pocket, pulls out a list, and like, Colton, can you have a look at this list? And thank you.
I reach over and grab it. Is it the list that Nomi?
It's the list that Nomi drew up for the farm. Just some things we'll be needing to purchase.
I have additions.
Oh, good.
Yeah, Romy has a list too. It has coffee on it.
Coffee, yes.
That one's
Coffee.
important, right?
Sheepy.
Yes.
This is the future space. Do I have a fucking tablet?
There aren't any like portable tablets with which to note stuff down. It's paper and pen and pencils, or it's the consoles which
Actual
are
console.
in the areas. Yeah. Incidentally, for you, Colton, and PG as well. you are able to, you don't like have to go out shopping. You can also access the external console, which will give you access to supply stores and things like that as well. So.
And would they deliver that? They would deliver that to the dock.
Yeah. Or they'd leave it at a drop-off point nearby, which is kind of like it'd be maybe even be elevated in kind of like a supply drop type thing into the
What additions?
Some live plants,
Live
some
plants.
garlic,
Garlic.
a few other seeds, whatever you can get hold of, sugar,
Food seeds or
yeast, seeds,
food or
all kinds of things.
mixed. I read down mixed seeds.
And she'll lean over and take the page from him slightly to one side and just scribble down a bunch of extra things so that they don't have to keep talking.
So much more efficient.
Okay.
Yeah.
I reach out to Romy. List.
Right. Yeah. Oh, here you go. And just goes over, picks it up, and hands it to you.
Coffee's at the top, right? It's really important.
Like the 6th or 7th one.
I turn to Colton. I'm like, coffee, please. Okay.
I look at the list, make sure it's on the list. If it's on the list,
It's on the list, yeah.
coffee.
Cool.
And then I just stand up. You look at my bowl, it's empty. There's like a few crumbs of bread left. I've efficiently demolished my meal, and I just leave.
Colton. Before you go, I thought we could have our crew meeting to discuss what we're doing next and where we go from here.
Okay, Captain. Can I sit back down?
Okay. So everyone, and he looks around to make sure everyone's finished eating. Is everyone done eating?
Nomi would
Still,
literally be running her finger
Yeah.
around her bowl, getting every last bit off. And if people have finished and put their bowls aside and there's still stuff in there, she'll take that as well and do the same.
I definitely still have food on my plate because I'm slow as
Yeah.
fudge, but I'm just like, it's fine. You go ahead.
And there's a bit of a creak from the other side of the table as Romy like sits down and takes his place. And the captain says, "So, we have a job offered to us. It's quite a long trip, but I think now is a good time for us to talk about the job we have, the shares that everyone will get, and exactly what our goals are as a ship and as a crew. And I'm sure we'll hear about it next week because we're stopping there."
Whee!
That's right, it's been 3 hours. Can you
GP,
believe that?
GP, you did the meal scene. You did the Firefly meal scene.
I did, yeah.
So good.
I'm sure there'll be more of those.
It better.
And somehow this one was more awkward.
Yeah, it really is.
It was perfect though. They don't know each other. And
Yeah, we're all.
Colton doesn't care.
Each other.
Like, sure, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So, just for people watching, it wasn't particularly, it didn't really fit, so the only person whose theme song you didn't hear out of the characters was the captain, Romy, and Colton. Everyone else's theme songs played at some point during their initial scenes. I'm sure we'll hear theirs too. However, I think first up, we should go around the cast and see what you all thought of the first episode of Drifting. I will say, just right off the rip, that pretty much went exactly how I was hoping. I'm already loving this, so yay, thank you all 4 of you. Let's go inverted, which I guess is clockwise now for you guys, because apparently everyone's whatever.
Because that's how clocks work.
So, thank you. I swear it looks different for me than the rest of you. I don't know what's going on. But first off, let's have a chat with Nomi Sinay, also known as Amelia Tyler. Hey.
Hello. I can't do wrap up as Nomi because that would just be monosyllabic.
Yeah.
Oh god, that was a delight. That was so much fun. Lots of weird little relationships. I remember us saying very briefly when we were doing the character chat a few days back, like, oh, maybe, yeah, I think maybe Nomi and Colton will rub along all right.
Yeah.
Like they could exist in complete silence with no other human interaction and
Yeah.
it will all be fine as long as there's food. All good.
I wasn't expecting everyone aside from Careene to be freaking animals when it comes to eating. Just like.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to having a bit more time with Careene because I think at the moment they were being very polite and very, other stuff going on. Astrid, oh god,
That was so
what an
good.
awkward first meeting. This
She's
is just going to be hell.
wonderful. She's wonderful.
She is fantastic.
I love
But
everyone.
Nomi does not agree. She's
Not as
very
Colton.
confused. And it's not that she doesn't like her. She's just like, oh, you seem to be ill. I'll check you for a concussion. Oh, she doesn't like it when I get really close to her. I won't do that anymore. Okay.
It-
So, like she thinks it's fine.
Yeah.
She thinks they're fine.
It's
this
just
is
one of
gonna
those
get messy.
things where like interactions sometimes just go wrong and you're just like, I don't know how to interact with you. We're completely different.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
It's going to be really interesting to see how all this develops. I love it. But thank you so much for putting the amount of detail in that you have, because holy shit, that gives you something to work with.
You know?
Everything
I will
already
be sending
exists.
you an actual list because so you can play that game.
Oh god, you guys actually gonna build up a shopping list for me to like?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Kareen's shopping list is coffee.
Yeah. It was really cool getting to see Nomi's reaction to the garden and the state of it because it's just
Yeah.
not in a good state.
Yeah. Oh, because it was built up as well.
Yeah.
If he hadn't said, "Oh yeah, it's quite a good garden," she wouldn't have known what
That's
to
what
expect.
he was told by the like equivalent of the real estate agent who sold him the ship.
Oh, they saw him coming, didn't they?
Yeah.
Oh dear.
He's good at some things, but he's not
Yeah.
he's not a botanist. He's not a mechanic. You know.
I was almost watching their scenes together from like outside my own body, just going, "Stop being so horrible to him. He's clearly terrified. Leave him alone." Yeah, I'm really looking forward to trying to build up that garden and actually make things grow, because that's a challenge in real life.
In general, we have kind of standard terrestrial like Earth style food and animals and things like that. There are some custom plants and animals and things that we will talk about and discover. The bark in the fridge is one of them.
Not in the fridge anymore.
No, you got your hands on that immediately. I noticed that. It's like, oh my god, really
It
cool
wasn't.
bark.
No, she's building up a med kit. She's just like,
Yeah.
"Oh, these dickheads may not know what this is. Let's not. Let's keep all the medicine away from the civilians."
It's not just medicine, but I believe,
It's
right?
medicine.
Is it just? I think
She doesn't care what the secondary properties are.
okay,
She's
okay.
like, "No, this is medicine. We're on a ship. This is what that's for."
because Amelia's character is a botanist. We were like, we're gonna have to come up with some planty stuff, and I just wrote up like this plant has this
Yeah, it
look
does
and
this.
these things.
You
and
do this to it.
You can do this, and so we got some
Yeah.
fun stuff there.
But since I got sent that through, I've just been going through it in detail. Like, ooh, what can I do with this? What can I make?
There's gonna be more coming through, so don't worry. There'll be more fun plants and stuff for you.
Fun with plants.
Yeah. However, speaking of fun with plants, someone who didn't have fun with plants, Safi and also Astrid. Hey.
What's up?
The official
Never mind.
first person on this show to break my calm demeanor. Well done, Safi. Thank you for that.
Very welcome. Oh, I'm just loving this character already. It's an absolute fucking riot. And until I'm just gonna get under everyone else's skin, I just love that.
And something that I want to remark on, because it kind of impressed me, is like all of the meetings were very clearly first meetings, aside from Romy and Astrid, which I actually think, for me at least, came across. I was like, oh wow, they have this like slight familiarity, like they know each other better. So I know that.
Let me ask him to pay for my food.
He's the fourth best spoon fighter in the galaxy.
But before the show, me and Safi were talking, and she was like, "Sheepy, I don't have any money or stuff." And I was like, "That can't be true, because we all did character creation, and you all ended up with some things." And I went to look at Safi's character creation. I was like, "Oh god, you rolled 0 on all your money, and all you ended up with at the end of it was a blade." So that knife she pulled out was the only thing she had left over from character creation.
Yeah. And also, fun fact, so for the chat, you saw me eating that tortilla thing. That was actually the third tortilla I've eaten tonight. So I got one out before the show, and I got a bit hungry, so I ended up eating it. And then I got a second one, and then throughout the first half of the show, I was just slowly eating. It's like, shit.
You have inspired
So
me tonight. Like all future characters are going to have
40.
edible props.
Yeah.
That's genius.
We had that on Sunkist as well.
Yeah.
Vandy's character could eat food as a kindred vampire, so she just used to bring food onto the show to eat, because she's like, aha, props.
I mean, these are like Cocoa Pops from earlier, but then he said I'm a stew. I was like, oh shit, I can use this. It's still sat on my desk from before the show.
Oh, they must be so sad. So wishy Cocoa Pops.
Oh no, I finished them before the show. I just had the bowl still left.
Oh.
So I was like, oh, prop game.
And it was cool getting to give a little bit of exposition on how travel in the setting works. It's all custom, like it's all bullshit basically. I was like, how will they travel around? I don't know. Cool rods that sound like a radiation, and
What was it you called it? Kick? That is so cool.
kick fuel. It's like afterburner, you know.
Yeah, that's a real cool name. Really cool.
It just came to me as I was doing it. Literally, I was like, I didn't know what to call the fuel, and I didn't want to call it afterburner, so I was like, or nitro, you know, whatever. I was
All
like,
of these should be energy drink names.
I just while I was writing the details for the fuel, I was like, I'll just say it gives it a bit of a kick, but I wrote like fuel kick. And when I came back, I was like, kick fuel is a cool name for the I'll leave it like that.
Side note, Kick is an energy drink.
I'm not surprised, to be honest.
What about Afterburner?
That's knockoff Sambuca.
So yeah,
Yeah,
it was,
but
it was
great
really cool
time.
to get, and I love that you were like, man, they've messed up the end. Like there were little bits with just to show you guys how little they know about running specific parts of the ship, like the power levels, and we'll get to that when we get to PG. But just like taking out the rod halfway in, just being like, this shouldn't be in here. Stop doing this.
Yeah.
Was very cool. So yeah. And Careene and Tessachka, which finally, Tess, we're on a show where me saying Tess isn't confusing.
I know.
Finally.
I have to break the mental, like, because I'm literally, like, for the first several months of the show, I was like, when he says Tess, he's not talking to you.
Yeah.
So I built up, like, a mental thing, and now it's
Now you
there.
gotta
So
break
when
it
you
down.
say, yeah, no, I have to break it. Oh, God, no.
I saw that.
No.
Wow, that's
Oh
what my
God.
gun's called.
No.
And the ship.
It's gonna be the Martha of this show.
God.
A name.
Why did you say that name?
Oh God. And also I love the captain. Oh, the interactions with the captain are so fun. Careene is very lazy. and so he's like, they understand each other. good.
Oh, yeah.
Also, our AI companion, she's been written into the show because she just randomly shows up all the time, as everybody that ever watches me on anything knows.
Yeah.
And usually causes problems, but she's adorable. And she showed up at the exact right moment. It was amazing.
That was great. What's this?
It's like she knew.
The AI is currently majority powered down, so it's not like it's just the mobile cat bit. But the majority of important rooms has like an AI terminal, so at any point you can just be like, "Hey AI," and it'll, when you're like powered up ship in motion type stuff.
Yeah. Can I have her mess with stuff? Because okay, when Astrid pulled the power rod out or the kick rod out, I really wanted to be like, and the AI cat jumps on top of it and just chills.
So the AI has like a cat's mobile body for looking around the ship when needed, especially places it can't go with the sensors. But it doesn't have, it's not programmed. That's something you can do. If you go into the data banks, you can program it to have cat-like tendencies.
Ooh.
But you'll need the skills and the knowledge.
100% the captain bought the ship like that and has no idea how to change it and just assumes it's a cat.
Yeah, and definitely Careene would be too lazy to do any of that. She'll just pet it when it stops by, pretty much.
I can 100% tell you, it was on the ship already when he bought it, and he has no idea how to turn it off, even though he kind of wants to.
He can't change its form, his nothing's just, that's just how it is on this ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Careene's just gonna accept it.
Yeah. And I like the fact that they were meeting in a restaurant, and the meeting went so smoothly and easily that they were like, we don't really need to order food, I guess, because you're hired, let's go. And it was like, boom. I was like, bye.
Yeah, she was super relieved and also just awesome. Cool. I don't even have to work that hard to impress you. Great.
Yeah.
Careene is a path of least resistance kind of girl.
So is the captain a little bit sometimes. Just got that going. And yeah, then we have Colton Nguyen and also Peach Pixelite.
You know how hard it is to speak as little as that when you're me?
You were very, very restrained, and I applaud that.
I even managed to get in the joke because I was gonna ask. I was on the intercom. I was gonna ask Astrid if she needed more power, if it was gonna come back online. But then she's just like, "Yo, sup?" Yeah. Never mind.
That was amazing. That interaction was the best.
Is that what you need?
So that was a fun interaction. Didn't really get to interact with Careene. Perfect interaction with Nomi. Perfect. That is the perfect crewmate. Doesn't talk about anything that isn't currently important.
Yeah.
What we like, efficient friendship.
Yes. Yeah. You just hello.
Mm-hmm.
We're done now.
Yeah.
Okay. Small talk portion is over.
Had a little bit of a face off with Roby, but only in kind of a moment thing, and met the captain, had a chat with him. Very basic.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think Colton he's the captain for a reason. Doesn't matter what the reason is. He is still the captain because of Colton's background. That's all that's important.
Yeah.
At the moment, at least.
Oh yeah.
No, it was because you were talking to me about Sheepy says some insane shit to me in DMs about a show he's writing and the things he's building, and I'm like, Jesus, that's a lot of stuff, but hey, you do you. And he sold the show to me because he was like, hey, Firefly, Cowboy Bebop. I'm like, yes, put me in that, please, thank you.
And
Like, I haven't even told you. I'm like, okay, all right, tell me.
yeah.
And you told me that you. You told me that you wanted to do meal scenes. And I thought, oh, that's a really cool idea. And then I'm thinking of a meal scene with characters that don't know each other. They've never met before. Like, oh, the meal scenes are going to be so different. Every week, the longer they're together, the interactions are going to be different.
Going to change and progress.
Yeah. Because even though my character's like, obviously that's going to soften when you know someone a bit more. Not too much, because he's still like, I don't have time for this right now. And I'm interested to see how Colton deals with Astrid, because at the moment it's just like, yeah, never mind. But obviously they're going to have to interact. She does the engines.
Yeah, your neighbors, your workstation neighbors, basically.
They're kind of hand in hand for flying the ship, right?
Yeah.
So that's gonna be. And also she knows how to mechanic stuff, which is something that Colton. But she has absolutely no, just
chill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No chill. Zero chill.
I did say when we done character creation, I was like, man, Astrid and Colton are not gonna get on. Like, I said that straight up. I'm sure they will, but there's
In a sense of the word, where that exists between those two characters, they'll get on.
There's probably going to be multiple instances where you're going to be intercomming with each other, like asking for more power or less power and these type of things. So I foresee a lot of interaction between engineering and power grid.
Yeah, because if something goes wrong mechanically that they need help with, like if I needed help, like Astrid is the one that could help, vice versa, right? So that's gonna be.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be bugging, I guess, both of you.
Yes.
For
you'll be doing that too.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So it'll be interesting.
Yeah. I said in the Zoom chat, because we're chatting as the show's going on, I'm like, I'm into this vibe. I am in this vibe. It was this song. You were playing this song. I can't remember the scene that was happening, but it was just a general sort of like just dealing with you're on a ship, and this song was on. And I'm like, yep, yep. More.
So yeah. Speaking on that, like, just a few little pieces of information for people who might be curious about the show and everything. I was originally building a Rogue Trader campaign, and I was just starting, and someone sent me a song that I listened to, and after I listened to that song a couple of times, I got a bee in my bonnet about a space show like this, and wrote like 3 pages in about 30 minutes, and was like, now I need to find a cast for this, and like ran off like desperately trying to find people for this. I just built it from there. I was like, no, screw Rogue Trader, we're doing this instead. And I'm really glad it went through.
Definitely a different vibe to
very different.
Rogue Trader. In a good way.
If anyone feels a little bit of familiarity, the thing I've done before I'd closest compare it to, weirdly, is Moonkissed. It has that same type of vibe of just like living an everyday life, and just
an ordinary life in extraordinary circumstances.
That's something I wanted to play out, was essentially that feeling of living on a spaceship, as opposed to being on a spaceship and doing spaceship adventure things, but ignoring like, oh, I run a farm, I should probably know what's on my farm, and
and we need coffee.
Yeah.
Pilots need coffee.
Seriously. Especially lazy, sleepy pilots need lots and lots of coffee.
And captains, lazy captains. When you offered him a coffee, the thing that went through his head was, I want to sleep though, why would I have coffee?
I wasn't expecting him to actually take a nap, but once I realized that's what he wanted, I was like, oh, totally, okay.
I was sitting there going, oh, he's gonna take a nap, okay.
Yeah.
He was literally like, oh god, I have to go out and get this list of things for Nomi. No, I'm gonna nap instead and just like lay it out on the couch. But
That's why you hired a
It's
quartermaster.
for her,
yeah.
not for the good of the entire crew. That's part of my job. It's like me rocking up and going, "Where's the engine?" Nothing.
Nomi's the only one who understands that properly. So, like, the captain's like, oh, we don't have a good garden? Wait, we need all this crap, really? So it'll take him time to adjust to that idea, I think.
Because it was only today where I was like, oh, so there are like grow lights in the ceiling. He was like, no, normal lights. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be interesting.
Yeah. But that was
cute.
That was a choice by me because it's more interesting to build something than to have everything
sure.
given to you from the start. So I was like, I think Amelia would really enjoy just building a grow house, basically, and getting
I
all
swear the shit that I'm gonna end up having to Google for this role is gonna get me on multiple lists.
You would be surprised the shit I've already Googled. There was one point where I was searching like combustible fuels and radioactive materials and things like that. I'm like, my god, I'm on a list, aren't I? Like, just...
The shit you Google for roleplay is like, So always add roleplay or cosplay or something like that to the end of your search, just to keep yourself safe.
Unless you get to know your like government official keeping an eye on you, and you just say like,
hey Jeff, how's it going?
Yeah, you just search like explosive materials. Hi Jeff.
Explosive materials.
How to
Research
hide a body
for a roleplay.
Oh god. To respond to chat a little bit, I will do a rogue trader at some point. I have to, just not yet, not now. Originally the idea was like, oh, people love me doing 40k stuff. Let's open up the Wandering Inn properly with a premiere of 40k. Like, let's really go into it. And then my brain was like, no, I have a different idea. Let's do that instead. So here we are.
I'm
good
glad.
though.
In terms of Traveller, it's very Traveller light. I think everyone will agree with me on this. I love the character creation for Traveller. It's really entertaining and interesting. You build your stats to start off, and then you play out your life up until the point where you start your... So character creation is like, you roll and see how well you do. Some people end up with no money and just a dagger. Which is... which was it wasn't actually that unfortunate for Safi's character, but it was quite funny. I think the oldest character, aside from obviously possibly NPCs, was Colton, who did a long set of terms and, like, went through. But
I was surprisingly really good at what I did.
Yeah. And yeah, a lot of the stuff in the show is custom. Like, Traveller's great for just a bare bones kind of, start here and then take it where you want. So the system that you see on the screen, I made that myself, and I came up with all the planets and what's on them and the history, and there are in the current setting there are no aliens present, so it's just humanity like populating these planets and kind of pushing out from there. If you're talking about like tech levels, they do tech levels on Traveller, which is essentially tech level 12 means space travel, and tech level 9 means etc. etc. I just went with the stuff that I want in, but I left out this, like, there aren't any laser guns, for example, but there is space travel. So anyone want to say any final thoughts before we power down? And I think I've covered everything I need to.
I'm good. I'm excited for episode 2.
Yeah, can it be next week, please?
I'll tell you what. Next week, you guys are going to Talend.
Ooh.
which is in the Annie system in the Distant Twins. So it's a long travel, and we'll find out more details about that next week. But I thought I'd give you a little teaser of where you're headed off to. So it'll probably be like a few weeks of travel, so you'll get a lot of time to interact and to do, like ship work and things like that and everything. So
Or avoid ship work.
or avoid ship work. So thank you everyone for watching. Thank you to the cast for being great and for going along with me on this this very custom traveler campaign. I think people who watch me at the very least are used to me doing this. I did the same thing with Werewolf where I was like, yeah, we're gonna play Werewolf, except for completely different from normal Werewolf. That's great. And then Peachy came in as a character, had fun with it. I think there's a few people who haven't seen Moonkissed. I was about to spoil it, and I was
Oh, go watch Moonkissed. It's on YouTube right
good.
now.
Yeah.
It's probably under this very video you're watching currently.
I'm not gonna edit that in, so
To the left.
it's somewhere there.
Like, subscribe, and comments below.
Yeah.
The little bell thing.
Do the don't
bell.
Never hit that bell. It is the worst thing you can do. Oh my god. You know how many devices I have that tell me someone's uploaded a fucking video? Never hit the bell.
All
Sorry.
right.
Apart from on Sheepy's channel, obviously.
Yeah. Aside from on my channel, obviously.
Of course.
So I'm just preparing a kind of outro. I had an idea for an outro, I just didn't have time to make it. So what we're going to do as we finish up is we're going to go to the starting soon screen, which will confuse everyone, and play an outro song. So I'm just getting that set up. Yeah, no, that's confusing. So we will be back next week at the same time with episode 2, and we will see where the crew ends up and what job they'll end up doing, because the captain hasn't actually told anything about it, so I'm looking forward to their reactions. So thank you for watching, everyone. The video will be out on the YouTube, so make sure to go check out the YouTube. Most importantly, links will be in the description for literally everyone and where you can find them and follow them, so go and do those things. Additionally, if you're interested, there's a Discord. You can go into there. I'll be posting up some drifting information for stuff you may not have caught and answering any questions you may have. And then there's the Patreon. If you enjoy the show, all Patreon money will go back into the show. Currently, it's going towards cosplay. After that, it'll go towards things like art and things like that, and new shows. So, no part of the Buffalo is wasted on Patreon. Know that. Thanks for watching, everyone. We're gonna head out, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Where do I move in this world? Could you please tell me what the hell I'm doing for it? Bring me to my knees. I'm so stupid. Would you tell me honestly if I wasn't meant to be what I see when I dream? Where do I move in this world? Could you please tell me what the hell I'm doing for it? Bring me to my knees. I'm so stupid. Would you tell me honestly if I wasn't meant to be what I see when I dream? It's a big, big world out there. Plenty possibilities. All of them is killing me soft. I want the real me figured out right here, right now. Is this lifestyle the right style for me? Only with time will I see. But by then it'll be too late. Looking in the mirror at a stranger's face. If I wasn't right, would you tell me straight? Or would you let me? Where do I move in this world? Could you please tell me what the hell I'm doing for it? Bring me to my knees. I'm so stupid. Would you tell me honestly if I wasn't meant to be what I see when I dream? Where do I move in this world? Could you please tell me what the hell I'm doing for it? Bring me to my knees. I'm so stupid. Would you tell me honestly if I wasn't meant to be what I see when I dream? I want something great instead of all dismay, but I can't find my way. I fall on my face, I flatline my faith. I want all escape, let's throw it all away. Just like the thoughts I trade for a couple of bucks in this big bucket of love. I'm steady throwing my up, hoping for that 1 in 100. But fuck stressing the numbers. Pop this deck in your summer and see the inner of my head declog like a plunge. Y'all be akin to my feces. Your best bet be the Bee Gees. The way you think living's staying alive. I got my head and my smile, but don't know where I'll fly. I'm just spreading my wings, I'm fine with taking my time. I used to rush it all out, I'm trying to slow it all down. Take my feet and lose ground, give them somewhere to hang. I always want it right now, trying to slow it all down. Take my mind and lose ground, watch it floating away. Yeah. Where do I move in this world? Could you please tell me what the hell I'm doing for it? Bring me to my knees. I'm so stupid, would you tell me honestly if I wasn't meant to be what I see when I dream? Where do I move in this world? Could you please tell me what the hell I'm doing for it? Bring me to my knees. I'm so stupid, would you tell me honestly if I wasn't meant to be what I see when I dream?